No, I would not know. What I do know though is Umineko. Yeah, oops. Here we go. You saw the stream setup that I constantly show on Umineko. Oh no. But yeah, okay. Let's go to game. I'm gonna start already. I've been eager. Finally reach it. I've been really eager to reach it and to like read all of it. It's been about days. I don't have really any thoughts on what happened last time. I kind of said everything already. But for woohoo, iMac. I kind of said everything already that I thought of episode 4. Of episode 3, at least the ending, right? I didn't get tricked by Beatrice. I did believe that she became better as a person, that she had some sort of character arc, like, that made her become bigger. And I did believe that Virgilia was good. Like, I fell for that. However, what I did not believe was that at any point, Battler should concede. No matter what, even if it's like out of empathy or some bullshit. Especially since Beatrice said that she could reform herself. Like, this was the biggest blunder of the century, and the second that Battler said, yeah, you're a golden witch, I instantly noticed. And I'm glad. I'm glad about that, because people were really doubting me, apparently. People already doubted. Really thought that I would fall for it like hook, line, and sinker. Dory. Hi, Naku. What's up? I start already. Umineko. I hope you like seagulls. Hi. Just check something really quick. Okay. Yeah, okay. Everything's good. Everything's ready. We're gonna start. Umineko, episode 4, Alliance of the Golden Witch. With the new character Ange having just barely been introduced. So everybody was happy. Believe it, party pooper. I've already said it, right? The second I saw everyone stuck inside a room, said it to be like forever inside of it, and happy forever. Let's be straight up. If I was stuck in the same mansion for eternity with 18 people, for eternity, I don't think I would be that happy. I think I would prefer Eternal Oblivion to that. You know? I think I would prefer to be like obliviated from existence rather than be stuck for eternity in one single mansion. But maybe you would want that. Maybe they would want that. Who knows? I don't judge. I wouldn't judge. I never judge. I am a perfect being who never passes judgment onto others. Because I am so nice and cool, unlike Beatrice, who sucks. And Rosa, too. Give me a second to pull up the new chart. New episode 4 chart. This is our chart. This is where we start. And let's start reading. Let's see how difficult it's going to be for me. You commit to build. I was thinking, right, of like mashing together every single shot, right? Making them all be like one thing when I started. But I'm realizing that like the size of the... Why do I hear a chopper? Oh, because they came by helicopter before taking the boat. Right? Something like that. Or it's just a plane. Or it's just a normal plane. I'm a moron. Yoshi. My man. My bestie. He's back. Hideyoshi. Yippee. As they say. So we don't have any idea of the structure, and I think Evertress is gone. More of end of game thing. Yeah, but I mean, okay, so just I don't know if you know Mac, but there's Umineko 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the question arc, and then there's 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the answer arc, and it was like maybe fuse together 1, 2, and 3, and 4, right? But episode 3 is like 38 megabytes, and episode 2 was like 20. So that might be a bit too much. Anyways. I'm sad to find out that Hideyoshi, of all people, turned out to be like, you know, an accomplice in the murders. And again, I do wonder why all the bodies were like brutally dismembered. And my guess would be that the typhoon swept away the mansion, but I don't believe it. I don't believe that this typhoon swept away the mansion, because I remember distinctly at the end of episode 1, they talked about the remains in the hall. But yeah, okay, let's continue. You alright, Batlican? We're already on the ground. You can't fall any further than that. What do you mean you ate them? Are you telling me Maria isn't cute? Like, look at her. She's so cute. Same for Jessica. Genuinely, when I saw them for the first time, the background. Are you talking about the background? I don't think the background is that bad. But I don't think the sprites are bad either. I do genuinely like... Yeah, he has like a weird issue of proportions, right? Somewhat. But the personality of the characters is conveyed like fantastically. For each of those characters, right? Just from the traits, you can already see what the fuck we're on about. You don't even need to know them to know what their deal is, right? Like, look at this guy. I love Battler Sprite. Battler Sprite is like the best sprite in the game. Probably one of the best. The Beatrice sprite is also very good. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, he has the same thing, right? Where the sprites may look bad in quotation mark, but the character design is flawless. Essentially, right? Like, even if, you know, it's not the best, you can instantly tell what the character is about, and like it sticks out. None of the characters look similar throughout all of this roster, right? You'd be hard-pressed to point to me like 2 characters that look the same. But yeah, okay, let's continue. Which, by the way, is weird that none of them look similar, considering, you know, they're one family. Right? I guess the only common trait they have is the black eyes, right? And every single one of them does have black eyes. Only the witches that seem to have blue eyes. Got it. Yeah, only witches have blue eyes. Weird. In the lobby of the Nijima airport, Maria dashed around in excitement. Battlers uproar on the plane must have been hilarious. I don't think this one looks bad. I understand what you mean, Zenos, and I've seen some terrible novel, but I genuinely like the art in this one. I genuinely think that like it has a lot of charm. Yeah, with especially the unique anime air of not having air. that one is shared though, sadly. It is unique and it does look good. Like it does its job at looking good. Have you seen the PS3 sprites? Like, okay, wait, no, I need to pull up the comparison. Wait a second. I have it pinned somewhere. Absolute. Don't look it up. Only here, wait. Yeah, right. So this is on the left. This is the original sprite, the one you can see, right? On the right, those are the Steam redesign sprites. Goodness, which one do you prefer? Which one do you think looks better? Without the text that, like, you know, might emotionally affect you. Which one do you think looks better? And the PS3 sprite, they whitewashed my man. The PS3 sprite of Battler, they whitewashed him. Like straight up. Like it looks tanned, right? It looks somewhat tanned. It doesn't look like pure white. The PS3 sprite is just the whitest man alive. Whitewashing someone that's already white is insane. Don't go lie. Anyway. Hey Maria, cut that out. Sorry, Butler. Don't take it badly. What a pathetic guy you are. Even in that huge body, you still can handle vehicles. Shut up! Oh, the amends have one or two things we can handle. I learned. Don't leave your heart on another sea's trip sometimes. About Europe, you could manage a half-day trip on a plane. Butler's dislike for vehicles is probably genetic. Oh, you mean Asumu? Right. Some reason she just couldn't handle vehicles. Pretty much anything other than a bicycle or a car. And whenever we tried to go far away, that would be annoying. Not this, not that. I'm scared. Full, gag. Children tend to learn that things that their parents can handle are dangerous. I'm sure Battler saw Asumu doing something like that and learned that it's scary. Honestly, I was about to say, seriously? What's up? I was about to say, regarding to that, I wanted to point it out as like another moment of George being like, you know, Mr. Smarty Pants who thinks he knows so much about children, right? But I'm thinking about it, when I was a kid, they probably changed that, that's good. They did not... It's very good to hear. Because even yesterday, while playing Infinite Space, people were complaining about the quality, that they couldn't lower it. That's, I'm glad to hear that. Nonetheless, as I was saying, I have thalassophobia. This is well known here. When I was a kid, I didn't. I genuinely did not care about the water. I could jump into it without any problems or thinking about like the deaths or anything. And then my dad told me, oh yeah, no, I can't handle going too far out when I was like 8. And I was like, why? Well, if I can't see my feet anymore, my feet can't touch anything, it doesn't feel okay. It makes me scared. And I was like, maybe my dad is right. There's a reason why. And just my brain, from that point on, completely synced with him. And now I can't handle deep water at all. Whatsoever. So thanks, Dad. I'm stuck with the same absolutely not debilitating condition as you. The only drawback this causes me is not being able to drive around on a yacht, which, you know, is a common problem for someone with my lifestyle. Okay, nonetheless, let's continue. It's Asumu-san's genes. I don't know, some pretty annoying genes. Enough talking about Asumu. Right now, you're the one who's here, right? You're right, sorry. Hey, the guys are here! Exactly 3 of them! Get in, get in! Hold on, stop right here. I'll send you to the little girl tickle punishment. You're gonna experience such a wonderful thing. Well, Butler and Maria. That plane would have been pretty great. Yeah. I assume you mean that literally. Hey, Rex, the taxis are here. You can play around later. Taxi! I'm getting in first! She's great. I love Mario. Hey! Mario and you too, Butler. Stop fooling around! You'll bump into someone. I wonder how long it will take until Rosa starts beating up Mario. I wonder. Genuinely, at what point will she start beating up Mario? Is it going to be like a slow burn, like episode 1, where it took about like 4 hours before she started beating her up? Or is it gonna be like episode 2, where it took less than 5 minutes for her to start being beat up? Rosa's voice grew really frightening. And even Butler realized we were fooling around a bit too much, as expected. Something to say. Oh, sorry! There, you guys are going to that car. You're keeping them waiting. Wait, I mean, that's literally an entire fucking character trait. I gotta go pee really quick. I'm genuinely not able to. BRB. Yeah, it is Rosa. Okay, I want to say, right? I want to say, clarify. Rosa has a lot more depth than, you know, just beating up children. That's not her entire character. There's a lot more depth. She's much more complex and interesting of a character than this, right? And I really appreciate it, but she is still a child beater. And the only thing that I think of when I think of Rosa is that time where she literally slapped Maria constantly until she fell to the ground and then started beating her up. Kicking her with her foot. While Maria was on the ground. So like, you know. And honestly, as I said, I think that's... I was about to say better. No, I think that's less worse than what George did moments after that. That one, I am never going to live it down. George saying, it's not our business, let her do parenting. Right after, you know, Butler and Jessica, the totally normal human reaction of trying to step in. Right? Butler has a human reaction of seeing Rosa beating up Maria and going, what the fuck? Fuck off, Rosa. What? What is wrong with you? And then George like put his arm around Butler. Hey, listen. Butler, my man. See this kid? See that mom? Their family. Let that mom beat up that child is what I say. Now come and let's not talk about it again, Butler. Let's watch TV and cartoons. And let's pretend this never happened. As Maria is still in the background getting beat up. Not looking at me. And yeah, this is exactly what happened. He literally just said, let's watch TV and never bring it up again. He literally said that, Mac. And you weren't here, I think. Literally just said that. Like... You can't... I genuinely... fucking hate George. And people point out, right? People point out the problematic relationship of him being 23 and his girlfriend being 16, right? But I think him being a child-beating apologist is significantly worse. Oh, you were? Nice, okay. I wasn't certain. Okay. Let's continue. I do gotta say, I got a lot of thoughts. This is typically what happens when I start new episodes. Thinking about the previous ones. I just thought of it, right? Just... Rosa, terrible mom. George, terrible person. George is just... I would not want George to be my dad. Like, even if you put aside the Shannon thing, which I think is the one thing I keep hearing about George. But even that aside, he's still a terrible person. George urged him to hurry on. Butler apologized to the person he had bumped into for telling him to come quickly. With a clunking sound, the doors on the 3 taxis were shut one after another. They departed for the... Oh, you mean as a template, as a meme template, right? Yeah, but sadly Umineko is too niche. I can definitely see it. If Umineko was a much more popular novel, I wish I found out Umineko sooner because this is just great. I really enjoyed my time with it. The taxis dashed away. The entire world grew suddenly dull. Go to a halt. Ange! I know she's coming! It's Ange! She's coming! Voices, the wind, and even sound. All of it stopped, and all the people who were trying to move froze like the instant someone takes a photo, coming to a halt. People and machines and clock hands, even the dust dancing in the wind. Frozen. Some people who were walking froze with one leg still in the air. Scraps of paper dancing in the wind were pinned in mid-air, frozen in place. Then, among the shadows, standing still in this unmoving world, single ones. Later, seriously, Ange! Hi! Bentler! It was a girl. Girl Butler had just bumped into. She had moved. a truly subtle thing. Her gaze dropped, shoulders lowered, a minuscule amount. That was all. In a normal world, that probably wouldn't even be taken as movement. The still world looked very out of place. And something else moved. It was a black cat, wandering around the shadows near the taxi rank. Came up right behind the girl. Leisurely form into town. This was no cat. It was a witch. Of course, the girl was also a witch. As the witch stood still, gazed still downwards. I can't stop everyone from going to Rokkenjima. Can I? You cannot. On October 4, 1996, you are not here. Where? Would stopping everyone really have been possible? Well, I can't imagine what a 6-year-old girl could do to make them turn back. No, never mind. I was about to say, you shout, I have a bomb, right before boarding the plane. But, this is not post-2001. That would have probably delayed things enough for the typhoon to become known, right? Or in this place, the probability wouldn't have been 0. Whenever there's a probability greater than 0, seek out a miracle. Then be sick. They had them lift me behind. Head facing downwards. Fists. They were trembling very slightly. You were sick in bed starting October 3, 1986. And Peter's game board is sealed off starting October 4. You are not given a chance to avoid getting sick. In other words, it would normally be absolutely impossible for you to enter a game board. Thanks for being patronizing. I know that. I know that just seeing father, and Oni-chan outfit like this, even that alone, a spectacular miracle. Ange tried to stand in the way of her family, attempting to stop them from the airport and heading towards Rokkenjima. However, it was impossible for her. 6 couldn't do it. Hey, she's 12 years in the future, right? Even though her brother had only bumped into her and apologized, he hadn't realized. Don't let her see. It had been such a crying. Like a seagull. When the Ange cries. That's what the Umineko stands for. Sorry about this. I won't waste the miracle you did. Glad to hear it. Come, let us go with them. To Rokkenjima. All of the pieces are already gathered. The curtain will open on the 4th game. By this time, Vito and Battler will already be seen. Where am I? No! Where everyone's fate's changed. Rokkenjima. Of October 4, 1986. Expose it. I'll learn what it is. Back. There were fists. When time started moving again, figures were suddenly swallowed up by a blowing gale in the rain. Oh, it's time! That's a new intro? Is that the PS3 one? I think it is. It's the original PS3 CS. I see, okay. The music is still the same, but the layout completely different. I like his music. I want to see that photo that just appeared there for a second. And I gotta say, again, I think the scene at the end of episode 3 was so fucking good. It was insane. Okay, 4th game. Good morning, milady. Hi, you do appear to be in a good mood. What a pleasant awakening you seem to have had. What do you mean, pleasant awakening? I'm so excited I couldn't sleep a wink. After all, the curtain is rising on a fun 4th game. That she truly had been so excited that she hadn't gotten any sleep. Did she show absolutely no signs of lacking sleep when she was young? Or because she had the mind of a little kid? Renevit chose not to say that aloud and laughed. I really ran that batter into the ground last time. I saw the look on his face when he was like, "You tricked me!" That was so pathetic! Even so, is that guy still feeling down? Down, you say? Oh, that's right. That man's a bit too trusting for his age, isn't he? Indeed. Although you could call that a charm. Ain't it the truth? Ain't it the truth? Speaking of which, didn't you totally fall for that one last time? Yes, totally and splendidly. Divided to the purity of one never deceived, timeless birth. What is his roadbud like innocence? All to your heart's content. I think the difference is because in games you only see the intro once, right? Or at least once every 100 hours. So it's nice to have it delayed to like the moment where it's most impactful. But in an anime, you see the opening every 20 minutes. At which point you want to see it like as soon as possible so you can skip it. I think that's why. That would be my stance. Because I understand, I share the same. I think it works here because, you know... I also gotta point out, because they've been staring at me, the stream started with 9 viewers, and then it just suddenly dropped to 2 within the span of like 10 minutes. That hit me a bit. That was weird. What the fuck happened? Hello, I'm late to the party. What's up, chat? Hi, Triviki. Right now, barely started. 30 minutes and we're barely here. We talked a lot. The joy of dashing across a field covered with beautiful new snow on a winter morning and trembling didn't even begin to compare. Didn't you take battle Sama's innocent art and quite fittingly, splendidly, atrociously, mercilessly, and unculturedly go just a little too far? Yeah. Yeah, it makes no sense. It just changes completely. Like sometimes, I remember sometimes it showed me one viewer, and I'd ask in chat, and there was like 3 people who were like, I'm still watching. I don't understand. Or anyways, I still love good movie. I still think Renove is the best. Definitely one of the best, you know, antagonists. He insulted him to the highest degree, enough to make one uneasy. Most people would be crushed after something like that. So much so that they wouldn't want to see your face ever again. Not that much. I also thought that if he was too disheartened to join us at the table. I mean, those poor beginnings finally staring. It's such a pain. Like him to you. It'd be better to prepare a countermeasure for that beforehand. What do you propose, Ron? In that case, perhaps it really would be best to prepare for such a countermeasure. I'm sad to say that you're not friend of the sun strategy, but you're still not quite a shock. Oh, fuck you say? What of one? The Lord. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. I still think she had a change of heart to some degree, right? What we saw can't have just been 100% acted. I still think that to some degree she evolved as a character. And while she didn't necessarily become a better person, she at least cares more about Battler now that she wants to admit. She doesn't see him as just a toy now, I feel. If she saw him as just a toy, she would not lower her voice like this. I'm still calling Battler X Beatrice. I'm still a proud believer. How do I frame it? Give me a second. I need a screen of Battler. Slowly just take. And perfect. She lowered her voice slightly, asking timidly. Renove followed suit. Bang, what do you mean just keep the thing? Oh, just keep in this. Did this. I mean, it's a cool feature, but like, his haircut is still important. He loves the whole of it. I'll add an extra hop. But still, the Fang theory still hasn't failed me. I'm glad about that. Ooh. And crouching and clutching on his knee. Spoke to him several times. No answer. Also brought him some food, but he never even touched it. And is troublesome. Is he really feeling that down? It is only natural. After all, you... Please. Beat him down, my lady. The fuck was that? Shouldn't make most people start to distrust humans. Oh, distrust of humans? How convenient. And then give up on human and trust witches. Sorry, I shouldn't fool around too much. I tried to joke about it. The situation seemed to be quite serious, so that even she took the hint and did her laughter. Is it really that serious? Should we just wait a little longer before beginning the fourth game? Lady Bruncastell's guests will be arriving, so it may be best to open the fort gate quickly. However, perhaps you ought to show a little concern for Battler's feelings, milady. Concern? Show concern, you say? That one. That face. That face right there. That is a face worth keeping. Oh, should I do that? Oh, should I do Wait, my mic was fucked the entire time. I hope my mic didn't sound too bad. I think I fixed it. It should sound better now. He's feeling down, so... That's right. Shall I cheer him up? When a person's heart is dark and closed off, interacting with them in a dark manner gains you nothing. Your only option is to shine with a brightness stronger than the dark. Damn it! Quit messing around! What is this music? Battler, over here! A croissant baked by Ronabet would be wasted on the likes of you! Why don't I enjoy it myself? Her stomach involuntarily growled at the fragrant smell of the croissant. His breakfast plate was empty, but Battler hadn't eaten any of it. The biggest glutton of the seven sisters of Wickery, Beelzebub, had waited for Ronabet to leave, and had then come to snatch the food away. Battler had noticed, and they'd been really noisy ever since. And the Beelzebub only had to give it back immediately, or else throw it, into her own mouth right away. He intentionally ran around in circles, making fun of Battler. That sprite doesn't work in this context. Give me my breakfast back, damn it! If you give it back now, I'll let you off with a single flick to the forehead. But just you try eating it! But what, are you gonna eat me up instead? I mean, you already made such a threat. Yeah, if you think you can, just try it. I'll bet I'll be as sweet as honey pancakes. He did already say he would pin down Satan to the ground and thrust his stake into him. He already said that. I think not about Satan, but he did say something similar. They're not on the shot, okay. Yeah. Wait, is this cannon size? Is this the cannon size? I know there's some trickery with like... I really hope this is cannon size. I'm gonna lower the size. Cannon stakeling size. Those stakelings are pretty small, I will say. No, even in context, it is insane. Even in context, Mac. Also, I didn't show it, but but it's too late. I already said it's cannon stakeling size. Give me a second. I need to fetch it. Umineko, episode 3. Here we go. Like, he already said that. Right here. I'll thrust my snake deep into you and let you enjoy being gouged to the fullest, okay? Damn it. Someday I'll have you down on the floor and say the same thing. He said that. My man has some sense of wit and quip. Gotcha! Right now I want to eat that bread even more than your thighs. Hey, good girl, I'll give it a year. My man is still on me, like he's been tortured Well, what is probably like a month at this point, and it's still just as horny as normal. So you resist until the end? Perfect lure is eternal. No way, no way, I won't give it to you! Even the croissant wants me to eat it! Are you still mopping so early in the morning? It's the beginning of a new day and new games, so let's get our spirits up! I'm just saving the yay! Yahoo! That one I can have some use for it later. What doesn't kill you makes you hornier. Shit, you have a point. You do have a point. I mean, there is a conversation to be had about, like, you know, sexual fantasies are typically about taboos, right? And the risk of death is one of the bigger ones. This is... I was about to say this is why autoerotic asphyxiation is arousing, but I remember it's not exactly that. If I remember correctly, there is a burst of adrenaline or another hormone that's released when you do that shit. Which is why people find it arousing. So my example does not work. So never mind. Let's move on. She flung the door open, like a marathon runner drawn on a certain caramel box, with her hands held high and an idiotic sureness. Vito appeared. For some reason, flags from around the world had completely scattered about, perfectly completing this magnificent entrance. Butler and Beelzebub, who had been fighting over the croissant, completely forgot about their agreement. Speechless. This is an amazing scene. Good morning, Beatrice. I'll just be on my way now. Here, Butler. Oh, she actually gave back the croissant. Hey, morning, Bito. Glad to see you're cheering this morning. Bito and Butler looked at each other. You see, neither had a clue what was going on with the other. Runaway lied? Runaway lied? Oh, Runaway, you dick. Butler? What's going on, Runaway? He looks totally fine, doesn't he? He's clutching his knees. And he's answering. For his sake, he wasn't even in the middle of eating. No, he was sleeping like a baby in his futon, clutching his knees, and informing that it was time to wake up, but he just wouldn't rise. Tried to feed him, but it seems that another cat wandered in and prevented that. You tricked me! Oh, I love Runaway. Yeah, you should talk. Aren't you the one who played the massive trick last time? I don't have a clue what's going on, but it looks like you got what you deserved. By the way, Runaway, nice one. Thank you very much, Butler. Two men stuck up their thumbs as though they understood each other, chuckling together. For a while, Bito was very energetic, trying to hide her embarrassment. Oh, that would make sense, yeah. That would make sense. I mean, no, you got it wrong. No, actually, you got it wrong. It's a devil. Devils never lie. Well, no, devils can lie. but they can't go back on their words. What do you think? What you're thinking about this phase? The Fae, like the you know, gargoyles? No, the Ags and shit. They can't lie, so they'll say the truth. They just say vague shit on purpose. Anyways, for a while, Vito was very energetic, trying to hide our embarrassment. Don't take me so lightly. You do think I'd still be hiding in the corner, holding my knees? Cool. Then who was that person crying their eyes out in frustration last time? You could have gathered your tears in a jar and called it face lotion. Shut up! That was, just because I was a little surprised by your crappy act. Might have looked a little lame. I don't think the same move will work twice. Of course not. Hey, don't disappoint me by falling for the same move over and over again, okay? Cackle, cackle. Yeah, just you watch. I'll show you that I'm a guy who gets stronger every time he's beaten down. But what about Evatris then? But Bito. Yes, what? Don't do it again. Oh? What's that? So you really are weak against the rear attack. You and I are enemies, and we'll certainly never join forces. I now understand that clearly. Don't you ever try to trick me about that fact again. You say that, knowing your weaknesses, I'll... Vito thought they were still joking around, but that tone had disappeared from Battler's expression some time ago. Vito felt as though his eyes were like the surface of black tea that had cooled down. You hear me? Don't do it again. I don't get it. I might do it again when you've forgotten, right? Don't do it again. Pierced by his strong and forceful gaze, Vito held her tongue. Maybe she was certain that Battler would break that silence with laughter. However, Battler's serious expression didn't change in the slightest. So to break that silence, Vito had no choice but to start laughing herself. Cackle, cackle. Very well. You and I are worthy opponents. No matter how friendly our relationship, we'll never be anything more than a pair of enemies. Yeah, absolutely. If you have not mistaken this, that is enough for me. That was my entire point of view, like the for episode 3. That's why I was so surprised that Battler actually did not seem to think that. I mean, they were still enemies. That's right. I almost forgot you were my enemy for a second there. I won't embarrass myself like that again. I won't fall for your rear attack again. Never again. It seems I'm not the only one who cannot wait for the 4th game. I am pleased, Battler. Come, take your seat. Yeah, just though I like it. Clever little tricks wouldn't work anymore. Stop acting so tough. You remain in a state of surrender for the last mystery in the previous game. The mystery of Ange's murder. Except for that one's still on hold for now. But that doesn't mean that I've lost heart. I'll definitely break your red truth and show that I can deny witches. Commendable attitude. You truly are a man like a phoenix. Don't betray my expectations. I still don't... Speaking of the web red of truth... I haven't even tried to think of it because I don't even know what to make of it still, right? Like, it's so... What's the word? So... thorough? That it has to be some sort of wordplay that I've not yet considered. I would need to like sit down in front of it and just like read it over and over and try to see like if I change the meaning of this word, does that introduce a flaw in the thinking or some shit, right? It is definitely an interesting riddle that I'll have to think about further. There's a lot I need to think about further. I might need to reread episode 3, 2, and 4, and 1. With that, let us raise curtains on the 4th game! But before that, seems we must welcome a new guest. A guest? You remember as well, correct? That mystery girl who appeared at the very end of the last game without an invitation, ruining my fun. That person. She said she wants to join our game. I sent her an official invitation, inviting her to join this match. Run away, summon our guest. There's no need. I'm already here. The voice that answered Bito's call came from the darkness in a corner of the room. Ange! When Butler turned around in surprise, he could not see that mystery girl there. My, how rude! All you had to do is greet us as soon as you arrived. I don't make a habit of talking to people before punching them. After I punch is a different story, though. Right can mean web as an internet in Spanish, huh? Interesting. And A did the music, right? I guess that's our theme. Oh, and what do you say? Good night, have a nice dream. Oh, amusing, oh, truly amusing. Bito cackled and clapped her hands. But that was only Bito. Nothing rose to Butler's face except a bitter smile. Why do we still refer to her as Bito? Isn't she Beatrice again? Ooh, you sure are a fighter. Butler and the girl's eye met. He shrugged his shoulders as he spoke, but the girl didn't answer, giving only a cold stare in return. You helped me out at the end of the last game. Thanks for that. I don't need your gratitude. You were just slacking off. I only told you to open your eyes. That's so true! Stop slacking up, Butler! Bito tried to laugh as to sympathizing with her, but it didn't reach the girl's ears. She did absolutely nothing except stare at Butler with ice-cold eyes. Well, it looks like someone hates me. Doesn't she revere? Butler... Oh, why is she here? Okay, let's read. Because those are new, I'm realizing. Those are new biographies. The Witch of Certainty was lived for 1,000 years. She think of Beatrice's game as a birdcage enclosing Burn Castle. Our goal is an eternal tie. She'll ally with Beatrice as a general rule, but she'll support Butler when it looks like he's about to resign. Then, when it looks like Beatrice is about to be cornered, she'll start supporting the Witch again. The willpower of certainty is far stronger than the endless, which just repeats over and over, idly. The endless witch, she loves bullying the weak. Okay. Yeah, the means end up becoming goals. I struggle to understand that. But I think I'm starting to understand what it means, right? Like, she finds a trick, and she wants to use that trick repeatedly. To a point where, even when it fails... Even when it would obviously fail, she still tries to use that trick. Which ends up fucking up things. Yeah. Witch of Miracles, who has lived for 1,000 years. To fit Beatrice in our game, she threw in a piece called Ange. The Voyager witches, who cross the sea of fragments, are being far superior to witches who cannot leave their own territories. While they may be on an even footing inside this territory, a true magical power far surpasses that of Beatrice. What is sought by those witches repeatedly voyage in an attempt to escape boredom. But doesn't she live for 1,000 years? I mean, I'm guessing she's just... I thought Beatrice was strong, but I guess she's weak as fuck. The peak curving inward on lambda above me. That looks fine. I mean, that's all my feet go. Like, I actually remember something about body language, reading about body language. If you want to, like, signify to someone without them realizing, like, you know, instinctual, that you're interested in what they say, you should point your feet towards them, right, while talking. And if you want to indicate you want to fuck off, right, or that the conversation does not interest you anymore, you point your feet away. Like, put them to the side or something. And actually, where I tried it in real life, you can actually see whether or not you're bothering someone, but just looking at how they position, you know, their legs, their feet. If they're indicating that they want to, you know, leave unconsciously, and the same way around. Sometimes people are just fucking dumb and don't realize it. But it's a good thing to know. Try it, you'll see. Anyways, let's continue. It's called doing a cheat pose. You should try it sometime. You have a point, Trev. You have a point. I forgot to read this one. The Endless Witch will live for 1,000 years in the future. Or perhaps she's an hunter of witches. We'll fell them all. Witches cannot be felled if they are not understood. Witches cannot be felled even if they are understood. They understood witches and yet deny them. Only this contradictory power gives us a blade with which to fell witches. I see. Copying the gesture of somebody when you're showing interest. Yeah. Yeah. There's just a lot of little movements that you can do during conversation in order to make the person feel like, you know, you're on the same wavelength. And I remember a guy talking about it, about, oh, you can not say anything in a conversation, like say nothing of substance in a conversation, and still have the other person walk out thinking, wow, talking with that person was a delightful treat. I love that. It's just as simple as, like, always urging them to, like, keep talking and pointing out, like, previous things they've said, but, like, you know, not trying to contradict them, but trying to, like, spark them to talk about that too, right? Like, if someone's doing a rant about something they love, and you recall, like, earlier we talked about this, you go like, oh, so this relates to that? And they just start talking again and again, and you just make them speak about what they love. And by the end of it, they you know, they appreciate you for listening to them. It's a great way to make friends. And it is also pretty fun to just, you know, when someone has a habit of anything, and they start talking about it in details to you, like not as if you're stupid, just, you know, genuinely sharing their interest with you. It is always so fun, even if I don't understand at all what they're talking about. It's very fun to hear about it. So it's good when you manage to, like, get that going. There's a lot of stuff like that that's pretty interesting to learn. And that I'm glad I learned. Alright, we'll continue. I'm just annoyed that you aren't taking this fight seriously. Are you saying I'm not serious about this? Don't tell me that Trev see earlier was you being serious? Don't take me for a fool. How long do you intend to play along with the witches fast like this? Fighting Beto in my own way. And doing it seriously, of course. Seriously? Don't make me laugh. You keep on drinking tea and chatting with the witch for all eternity and call that fighting seriously? Keep the jokes to just your hairdo. Hey, calm down! I love the haircut. Well, it's because I wasn't used to the witch's game in the beginning. I've been through a lot of off stuff. I'm finally starting to see how to fight, and I'm getting the knack of doing it. The pathetic way I've been acting makes it look like I haven't been serious to you. You're just wrong. Is that so? Of course. I know I've got to close in a lot more before I can grab Beto by the collar. But no matter how long the distance may be, it's still finite. And in each game that passes, I'm steadily closing that distance step by step. No matter how long it takes, I'll close in on that witch, and I'll definitely checkmate her. It might take 1,000 years, to use our phrase. But even so, I'll definitely win sooner or later. Why? Because I definitely won't accept losing. I definitely won't stop moving forward, closing in on her. In other words, there's just one thing I can say for sure. I will definitely win against that witch someday. That's how it is. I want to save that line too. I want to save that line too. Because this seems like delightfully. It's the type of phrase that will turn out like completely wrong or completely bad over time, right? It will either age like fine wine or fine milk. You really don't sound like you're in a hurry. Are you even trying to win? Even the finite can become endless if you treat it the wrong way. Right now, you've become a necklace. You couldn't even outshit the turtle. I get it. So this is why I'm needed. At this rate, there's no way you could win against the Endless Witch even after a billion years. Who are you? It's not like you'll be struck by lightning if you just tell me your name. At that point, the girl fell silent, gazing straight into Butler's eyes. At first, Butler faltered under the fairness of that look, and his gaze wavered slightly. But then his eyes gradually began to be sucked into the pupils that were staring at him. Then, in Santa's eyes, he saw a light that he'd seen sometime before. Butler was struck by how strongly they resembled the eyes of a girl who definitely couldn't be there. Even though that was completely impossible. I know it's stupid, but for some reason, it feels true to me. But that can't be right! That person's supposed to be 6 years old! You couldn't possibly be... Ange! Could you? If I were to say that's right, would you believe me? I'll put it another way. If I said I am your ally, so trust me, would you believe it? Would you unconsciously trust some unknown girl you're meeting for the first time, just because she looks a little like someone you know? It's because you're such a softie that you got tricked so easily in the last game and cried so bitterly. You said it yourself. That kid is 6, right? Do I look like I'm 6? If I were to claim that I had that kid despite that, would you swallow that story? You say it like that. There's no way I can argue back. Sorry, that's right, I'm a softie. And that should have been made clear to me after the last game. That's what you meant when I said... When you said I wasn't being serious. Yes, you may think you're fighting against a witch, but you're just getting along with her and playing. You're just playing at fighting in a friendly game of chess. Maybe a serious contest for you too. You're looking at it from far away. I only see you playing around and following the rules like you're good friends. What do you mean following the rules? He's a human in this thing, he doesn't have a choice. But as long as you're unable to win at this game, you won't be released from this place. That's why I came. I came to bring this game to its conclusion. You claim that you're closing in on a witch, but you're just like a hamster running around in a wheel. He deserves that. He deserves that one. Not gonna lie, he does deserve it getting cooked. It's like, you know, it's that slap that you get to like wake you up after you say some dumbass shit. A nice wake-up call, essentially. Oh, one of those? Those things that run around and around in place night after night? At a glance, you may think that running around in a wheel is endless. The Endless Witch Beatrice! They're just like you. He thinks he's fighting, but he's actually just running around in a wheel while making a fool of himself. This isn't a game. This is nothing more than a cage to shut him up in. For all eternity. Oh! Feel like an endless is something like a wheel that a mouse plays in. Interesting, interesting! Something that's endless in a certain dimension can be less than endless in IO1. The fact that a Menja sponge has infinite surface area only matters in a world of less than 3 dimensions. I remember a Menja sponge like hearing the term, but now I want to see what it is exactly. No, it matters even in 3 dimensions. What do you mean?
3次元の現実においては質量ゼロ。
I mean... What do you mean, no volume? Oh, no, you're... Wait, they're right! So, yeah, it's a close compact set, and the Lebesgue measure is 0. So it does have a volume of 0. Huh. Okay, that's interesting, okay. I did not expect that. I will actually look into this, that's interesting. Okay, let's keep reading. I got nerd sniped. I got nerd sniped. Not only is it not endless, it doesn't even exist. Oh, zero mass because it doesn't exist. That's what she meant. She didn't actually talk about, like, mathematical properties. God damn it. What an assertive woman. It seems you're worthy of being called my enemy. Who are you? I am your ally. An enemy of witches. Of course, you don't have to believe it. One can prove that I really am your ally. On the contrary, it's more desirable that you keep your guard up strongly enough to find me very suspicious. That's right. Last time ended up pretty bad. I'm going to be at least that careful. I don't plan on getting tricked twice. I really did think Virgilia was good. I really did think Virgilia was good. Beetle laughed in a truly pleased way, which was humiliating only to Battler. People don't just get tricked out of the blue. That only happens when they fail to check things for themselves and leave it to other people. And that you thought the light had turned green just because you saw other people start crossing doesn't count as an excuse for getting into an accident. Get it? Yeah, I get it. You're telling me not to swallow information given to me by others, but I think for myself. In the past, I swallowed all the magic Beetle showed me. Stopped thinking. So I was useless. Battler grimaced. He remembered his many painful losses. The witch watched and laughed again, putting on a bold appearance. I'll offer your advice in a way that works to your advantage. Of course, you shouldn't swallow everything I say, because no one can provide certain proof that I am your ally. In the last game, Virgilia, who I thought was an ally, was actually on the witch's side. But I couldn't rid his head of that eerie smile worn by Virgilia, a person it once even thought was trustworthy and reliable. But I don't need you to unconditionally trust me. You might as well take my advice as nothing more than an opinion to be considered. After all, the player who's fighting in the game against the witch is you. That's right. Saying I lost because I followed the moves of an outsider would be just too pathetic of an excuse. Oh yes, my opponent is Battler. You're nothing more than an outsider. Should bear that in mind. Echo. No, I'm not an outsider. With Beatrice in the show me a Battler, and I who gazed on from above. It's almost like a fight in the shape of a triangle. At a glance, it might not look like a united front, but having a united front doesn't necessarily mean fighting together. Oh, what an odd thing to say. Just now, he described fighting with you as closing the distance. But you can't measure distance with a single eye. Only with two eyes are things visible in 3 dimensions, and only then can distance be judged. And even when you have 2 fields of vision, it's pointless if they're in the same place. You can pin down witches more accurately when they're far apart, shooting from different positions and different angles. So basically, it's crossfire. Interesting. Shooting from different positions and different angles. Is that why she's called Ange? Because of the angle? Ange... Yeah, you get it? Absolutely not the case. I won't get along with
自
anybody.
分の立ち位置をずらし魔女
I
を
do
挟
want...
み撃ちにするためにいいのか
Are you okay with this, Battler?
その女は実はわらわが差し向け
I need to set that up now. I really need to set that up. I need to set that up really quick. Give me a second. Oops. Boom, and we need Ange to come up on the screen again, please. You might just be saying something possible to gain your trust, right? Maybe. She's saying that over and over again herself. Of course, I can't blindly accept her advice. As to whether she's worthy of trust or not, I can think for myself and make a decision. As long as I don't stop thinking for myself, I won't be tricked by anyone again. What confidence you show me, Battler! After you've said so much, makes me want to trick you all over again, you see? I can't wait to see what kind of face you'll make when you realize you've been duped once more. Oh, pleasant! That's why I couldn't pin down the stakes. Yeah, he needs two people to pin them down. That's the lesson here. Oh, he needs to have envy, right? Like Kiri, he needs to be envious. Looks like you know my name, but I don't know yours. Tell me. Oh, why? The girl remained silent, without changing her expression even once. She looked as though she couldn't decide whether to say her name or not, or possibly, as though she was deciding on the name she'd say on the spot. Gretel. Gretel? Angel... Wait. Oh, because of Ants and Gretel? I guess because they sound similar? But also, wait, I need to do the thing I wanted to do. There we go. I was talking about the triangle and I want to set it up. How do I rotate it? Please. Right? No, that would be the point. Here we go. Here we go. And... how do I call this? A fighting triangle? That's how they approach it. Could I think of a better name? If I think of a better one, I'll add it. Oh, it is the Conspiracy bolt color. True. I should make some pins there. I mean, the pins are the nose. I think it works perfect like this. All the way like this. I can still do a pin. Here we go. It kind of works with the little pins. You know what? That was not a bad idea, Mac. I think it works better. Okay. Ghetto? You are? That's my name, dumbass. Really dislikes him. Gretel. And should I call myself Ansel? Just kidding. I'm a Shermia Battler. Tell me, Battler. Nice to meet you. I hate handshakes. Don't take it personally. Nah, really? Sorry. After all, it isn't certain that you're my ally. And you just told me to keep my guard up too. But drew back his right hand, which he had stuck out. His bitter smile disappeared, was replaced with a strong resolve, directed at this new fourth game. Battler, Think deeply about why you must wage against this witch. You can't start with something abstract like, I'll be there because I don't like it. I have a deep conviction that you'll definitely defeat the witch and escape from this world. Because there is definitely someone waiting for you to come back. For that kid's sake as well. Maybe there was something she wanted to say. Gretel clenched her fists in front of her chest and hung her head in silence, at a loss for words for a short while. So smashing through that silence, Vito spoke up in a forceful voice. Good, that should be enough of an introduction for Gretel or whoever. Try to remember what happened on October 4. Let the curtain open on the 4th game. At the same time as though it had been blown by a sudden gust of wind, the clock that had been turned back to October 4, 1986, started to move. While we remained in the witch's tea room, the blue-grey sea and a green Orkanjima spread out beneath us, and we could see a boat heading out there, its wake trailing behind it. The sky was already cloudy, and it seemed that the barrier of the typhoon would soon shut the island away. There was a boat docked in the harbour, and Goda helping to unload it. Then, once all of its passengers had disembarked, the boat began to separate from the shoreline. The relatives were gradually swallowed up by the island. Looks like you're as cheery as ever, Maria. Maria-chan, you'll trip if you aren't careful. Look out! Yeah, the sad song. I mean, they're all about to die, so like... Gonna fall, sink, giggle, giggle. Tragedy begins with Goda. It's all his fault. He's gonna die first. Along with his cousins I had loved, dashed across the beach, getting swallowed up by the forest path that led to the mansion and disappeared. And of course, my brother could be seen among them too. Damn it! Stop right there, Maria! You nimble little brat! Okay, I'm thinking of something, right? That might... It's in regards to episode 1, 2, and 3, right? I'm thinking, because like, there's a chance that Rosa and Eva did manage to find the gold in the middle of the game, right? Of the ceremony. And I'm thinking, what if, in between every murder, like there's a person committing the murders, and if the ceremony stops, like if the ceremony... More so, okay, there's a person committing all the murders, and if someone finds the gold, that person stops the murders and tells them to finish it themselves. Or they continue them. Right? Which would explain why there was no winner at the end of episode 1 or episode 2. Or there is a winner at the end of episode 1 and episode 2 and we just don't know. Right? Because maybe this could be just like a mass suicide. Like, imagine if in episode 1 and 2, Kinzo said, if no one finds the gold, keep sending them letter about it. And if no one finds it, just kill them all and then kill yourself. Right? This could be a thing. But I'm realizing, now that I've said it out loud, I'm realizing that this is silly. So never mind. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's plausible. Maria, whom I loved, started dashing, and Joel chased after her. They were swallowed up by the forest. Following them, father and mother were also swallowed up. What? The rest of the parents were swallowed up. They were swallowed up, leaving only me behind. What the fuck? dumbass. How long are you gonna joke around and play with a witch in a place like this? Come back quickly, brother. Don't leave me all alone. And realize how cruel and lonely the world I'm isolated in is. Welcome to Rokijima, the island you all know and love. Or do you? Team achievements. I'm not so sure I love it. I'm not so sure of Steam achievements. How many Steam achievements am I missing? I shouldn't be missing much, right? St. Lucia Academy. In the future! Okay. What the fuck? Good day to you! Good day to you! Good day to you is a standard greeting used here. No matter how many years pass by, the style of greeting still feels very awkward. Though I'd responded to the greeting in order that stifled that awkward feeling. Classmate who had spoken looked at me blankly. Huh? What's that? It seems you're mistaken. Their choice of words and manner were certainly what you'd expect from a school for rich girls. But the actual meaning was as innocent and cruel you'd expect from kids of that age. I think they found it funny that I'd mistakenly thought the greeting was directed at me. No, it might be the opposite. Maybe they didn't know how to react after being suddenly greeted by a gloomy, quiet kid like me. No, judging by the gazes of my classmates, who were looking this way over their shoulders and whispering to each other. It looked as though some of them considered this refreshing morning ruined. I was dark, because I was disliked. So, trying not to get in the way of everyone's refreshing morning anymore, I stooped lower and entered the classroom. Almost like I was cutting through the aisle in a movie theater while the movie was running. This is an old dome school, St. Lucia Academy. It's not a school that anyone can get into by taking a test. It's a rich girls' school, known only by a select group of celebrities from various fields. For lofty nobles who truly wish their daughters could be raised like saints, this is probably the ideal school in which to protect them from the impurities of the common world. But at the same time, it was probably also convenient for nobles who wanted to confine daughters they didn't want into public. As well as an academy isolated from the impurities of the common world, it also had excellent potential as a prison school. Greeting is kind of high-class way. Ah, I see. Okay. I was truly among the latter. I was confined in St. Lucia Academy. I was to live my life in dreariness. Of course, there weren't that many students like me, and you couldn't tell us apart at a glance. However, if we never fessed up about it, you could usually figure out who we were by watching how we act. After all, we were always hanging our heads, with an expression on our faces as though the whole world has been dust. Anyway, every class had 1 and 2 kids like that, so even if they didn't speak up about it, you could guess who we were. Therefore, even though I never confessed that I was one of those kids, at some point, everyone in my class knew about it. Just like how the seriousness of an injury becomes a sign of status in a hospital room. On noble birth 1 had become a sign of status here. Is that an actual thing? In hospitals? Those girls couldn't be acknowledged in public, were probably nothing more than filth to the others. We must have thought that getting involved with such students would dirty them as well. When a rumor sprang about a particular student, those fastidious girls would grow cold and distant, chasing that student out of all social groups. Thanks to that, I had a school life like this, all by myself. Well, that's only if hearing people whisper behind my back, finding my things lost or broken all the time, and having everyone pretend like they didn't know anything, and be called a quiet school life. Even this early in the morning, I must look worn out. I can almost understand why my other classmates, who had a refreshing morning, looked at my face and wanted to click their tongues. Consciously trying to do as I should and avoid tainting my classmates' morning, I quietly took my seat. Then, unusually, someone came to talk to me. It was a class leader. Good day to you, Shiromiya-san. You seem to be in a bad mood this morning. Are you able to get enough sleep? Is there some business you have with me? You're the only one who has not submitted a questionnaire for the quest presentation, Shiromiya-san. Did you forget that the deadline was yesterday? Pretty sure I heard about something like that last week. But I thought the questionnaire hadn't been passed out yet. The details would be written there, so there shouldn't have been any need to remember them beforehand.
アンケート用紙もらってないですけど。
Wasn't given a questionnaire.
そんなはずあ
It
りま
can't
す。
be.
寮長から
I believe the dormitory lender handed them out to everyone. If you lost it, all you have to do is honestly say so. I lost it.
今すぐ書き
I'll
ます。
fill it in right now, so could you give me a
了承い
cheat?
ただけますか？
Again? Either someone lost my sheet, or by intentionally didn't tell me about it. I have no way of knowing who was behind that. In the end, treating it as though it was my own carelessness would settle everything more quickly.
書いたらご自身で
To fill it out, drop it in the questionnaire box and set it in the council room yourself. Our class is the only one that didn't get everyone's in by yesterday.
全員のが揃わなかったのは
As I hung my head at the class leader's scolding, could hear the giggles and whispers of people watching, coming from no directions in particular. You Shermia did it again. She's just so careless. She doesn't deserve to be in this school. She has no dignity and no manners either. Sorry, girls, but I've dealt with much worse when it comes to unfair personal attacks. As I froze my heart and let those hours of ridicule pass by, I quickly filled out the questionnaire. That is a... I can see it, yeah, Mac. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense then. That makes sense. When I learned that father and mother and only Shan and all the rest of my family had died, I was at the house of my grandpa on my mother's side. The only survivor of the accident was Eva. Only Aunt Eva. Even at the time, I hadn't really liked Aunt Eva. At a glance, she would act kindly. But even as young as I was, I could see that she was someone making fun of father and the rest. I hadn't liked it. And when it was decided that Aunt Eva would take care of me, I was pretty miserable. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered if that gentle Uncle Hideyoshi and George Onishan had been with me. But I hated the thought of living all alone with Aunt Eva. I frankly said that to Grandpa, hoping to live together in his house. However, Aunt Eva had been very insistent that she should be the one to look after me. She had no desire to remarry, so as a successor, it was essential if the Ishirmiya family was to continue. Eva felt very strongly about the family. She insisted that she take charge of me right away, so she could give me an education and lifestyle fitting for a successor. After that, it seems that confusing negotiations with lawyers took place. But in the end, I was forced to go live with Aunt Eva. But doing that, Eva told me something. You must bear all the glory and history of the Ishirmiya family. In order to make you a fitting successor to bear that, the rest of your life will be dedicated to frantic studying. Sacrifice the rest of your life for the Ishirmiya family. That's what she said. At first, I thought she meant that literally. I quickly realized that wasn't the case. Because even now, in Eva's eyes, the one most fitting to succeed her was the late George Onishan. At our first meal together, I received strict instructions and questioning about table manners, and was forced to listen to her abuse mom and dad as though they'd been neglectful in their discipline. I also received the same strict instructions regarding manners in my first party, and my clumsiness had been disparaged in front of everybody, forcing me to endure insults to mom and dad as well. After that repeated over and over, I eventually began to understand. Eva didn't really want to make me her successor. She thought George was the only one truly suited to be her successor. And she couldn't forgive the fact that it was to be me instead. So she insulted me in front of lots of people. She humiliated me. She made it known exactly how I was inferior to George, to both acquaintances and strangers. Surely in place of a memorial service for her dead son. However, she must still be mourning his death. However, that wasn't something I could endure. I couldn't possibly live together with Aunt Eva. I was kept like a pet, my life continually compared with her dead son's. Even in death, George gets glazed. I fucking hate that! Why do they glaze him so often? Like, genuinely. He's not that good. I understood that even when I was still in elementary school. I tried to escape the Ishirmiya house and run off to the house of my grandpa on my mother's side. However, Eva had already foreseen that. No, thinking back on it, she might have lured me into escaping. I was caught by the guards and brought back,
and for being a coward, where it's merely to show me a family crest with mud and try to throw it away. In a way that makes my whole body shake and shiver just remembering it. I was punished. Or should I describe what Eva was like when she punished me? In a frenzy? Gleeful? I saw the anger and sadness of losing her beloved son, as well as the hatred and pain from me stealing the inheritance from the son who should have received it. And the dark pleasure at being able to let those feelings out on me. That was it, with all those negative emotions at once. Then, all of my free time and freedom to act was stolen. And I was put under surveillance around the clock. Wait. Okay, I got up. Okay. Okay. I just had like... It's something. Give me a second. Wait. Do you remember in episode 3? Where was it? Right. Butler emitted a theory. Right? Said a theory that essentially... Essentially, the person died setting up the deaths, but didn't intend to die themselves. Like whoever it was that set up all the deaths did not intend to die themselves. Right? And if you think about the fact that Eva did not intend to kill George, right? Eva did not intend to kill George. What if there's a murderer? Like, what if there's multiple murderers unaffiliated with each other? Have you thought of that? Have I thought of that? Like, if you think about it, if there's multiple murderers on this island at once, because, like, keep in mind, everyone on this island is in need of a lot of money right now. Besides the kids. This could mean that one of the 6 right there could have been tasked with, like, you know, setting up a killing and then, you know, doing this whole weird 6-room things. And upon setting it up, like maybe Genji, upon being tasked to set it up, got shot in the back. And then left for dead inside the room. Something similar to that, right? In a way, in the same way that Nenjo was not necessary to die. It was the 9th Twilight. Nenjo did not have to die. This is an unnecessary killing that makes sense if you assume that there's another person currently on the island trying to not necessarily ruin the ceremony, but either force it to happen or claims the gold for themselves, right? Like, say there's another person on the island who found the gold and wants to get rid of everyone else in order to, like, make sure the gold is for themselves. They just kill everyone they can find, which includes Nenjo, and would have included Eva. And this would explain why Eva lost both Hideyoshi and George, despite not meaning to. Because maybe Eva just didn't... Maybe Eva killed people, but, like, not all of them, right? I think this is what this is implying. I don't know if this makes sense, right? But like, if none of them died in accidental, none of them died of suicide, none of them died of trap, then they died of a homicide, so they died of another person. And if that's the case, and you consider that Eva is confirmed to be at least a culprit, then there's another culprit, and maybe more, who were all like setting up their own ceremony, we were all trying to set shit up, right? And all those bullshit, especially this could have happened if one of them was betrayed or some shit. And this would not explain how First Twilight was set up, by the way, to be clear. This would not explain how the First Twilight was set up, because this, I still don't understand. What I'm saying is that both the fact that Eva did not intend for both of them to die, and the fact there's clearly another person here, and the fact that this is a clear contradiction, I need to think about who else could have found the gold, and among that list is another murderer, right? Among the list of 15. Or if there's another person unrelated to the family on the island. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know why that just sprung into mind. I needed to, like, bring that up. I need to bring that up. Before I forget. I'll try and write it down later, so I can remember. But the whole bullshit of Eva being like, oh, I had to kill my children, and yet I'm sad about my child's death. I think that maybe because she did not intend to kill him. Because she did not kill him. Alright, let's continue. Let's put under surveillance on the clock all day. I have lived in a gorgeous mansion, dressed in expensive clothes, but my art and my dignity had been trampled upon. I was the Ushurmia family's slave. Its cattle. Compared to that lifestyle, the derisive laughter of my classmates here was calm and pleasant. It caused my aunt no trouble. After burying almost all of the field of the questionnaire with nothing in particular, I folded it and put it in my pocket. If I've left this in my desk, it might disappear again. During lunch break, after dropping it off at the post box in the student council room, I finished lunch by myself as usual and headed beyond the school building where no one could be seen. Only my time by myself could protect me from the derisive laughter and gossip. Derisive? Derisive? I don't know. Since I was 18 and didn't have a single friend, my time alone was the most kind to me. But checking the surrounding bushes to see whether some malicious classmates were hiding and threatening my time quiet, I finally relaxed the tension from my entire body, knowing that I had gained some true peace. Then, I let out a sigh. Faltered, heavy. I thought it was the first time I had breathed out today. My old favorite place behind the vegetable garden storehouse. I'd been found out by my classmates, and I'd been teased that this was my new lunchtime hideaway. There was nowhere to sit behind the school building. As I crouched near the wall in the shadow of the bushes, I opened my bag and took out a book with an elaborate, old-fashioned binding. Just glancing at it, you'd probably think it was a religious book, something written in the Middle Ages. But this wasn't a book. It was a diary. Of course, it wasn't my diary. There weren't any special things worth writing about in my daily life. Every single day was just grey, cold and dry. It's completely unchanging days. There aren't any changes worth writing down. This was the diary of Maria, a girl I'd been very close to. She'd been a bit strange and 3 years older than me, but sister was always a warm, wonderful cousin. She would always grab me by the hand and let me join in on some fun game. I remembered that being able to see her was the most fun part of our family gatherings. When I opened the diary, the characters, which were made fairly skillfully considering that this was an elementary schooler, were packed close together, though they were written on every other line. Was she just hopelessly obsessed with jotting everything down in a diary? Probably not. To her, writing her daily life down in a diary was probably like having a conversation with another part of herself, rather than an object on which the events of the day were written down. Maya's diary was written like a letter to another part of herself, telling of the events of that day. I found this diary among her belongings after her death and secretly took it home. First, I felt that reading someone else's diary might be boorish, and satisfied myself with just keeping it by my side. But I couldn't help flipping through the pages and reading through it bit by bit. But now, she had become my only friend. I gently opened to the page with the bookmark. Sorry to keep you waiting, Maria. Could you let me hear your story again? At the same time, very, very soft breeze blew, ticklings of paper. Thought the open diary might have sparkled faintly. The weather's good today. Maya loves the wonderful rays of sunlight, so I'm sure she's in a good mood. On the pages of the open diary, no, in the world of the diary, Maya showed herself. I'm pretty sure she was 9 when she died. So her form was already younger than me. That's cute. But I called her Oni-chan, so she affectionately called me Ange. Hi, Pulapo! Ooh, Ange, you were slow getting here today. Was it packed at lunch? Yes, it's always packed. Groups of friends set up camp in the seats. They stay there even after they finish eating. It's pretty fatal if you get to the dining hall late. I was on cleanup duty today. Ooh, I eat fast. The faster you eat, the more you can play. Ooh. Maybe she realized I was holding a grudge because that duty had been forced upon me, and shortened my lunch break by a bit. Maya brightly changed the subject. Grateful for that act of kindness, I responded by saying I was a slow eater. Maya calmed me down, saying something about teaching me the trick to eating fast. I read about it in her diary. No, I heard it from Maria. She was ranked #1 among the girls in the speed eating ranking for her grades newspaper. Is that something they rank? Yes, okay. She was apparently very proud of that, but a little disappointed that her mother, Rosa, hadn't praised her very much of it. Gonna start a story for today. How far did we get yesterday? Who? This far. We got Sakutaro as a present, Maria. You promised that you'd tell me about Sakutaro. Let's talk about Sakutaro. You know, Sakutaro is a really cute stuffed animal. I'm sure you'd like him too, Ange. Ooh. Yeah, tell me the story. The only time I can relax at school is when I'm listening to your stories during lunch break. Ooh, I'll tell you about it. Sakutaro is already, When I looked at Maya, who was always in a good mood, it made my heart feel warm as well. As I listened to her tale, I began to get absorbed into her world. True, fair enough. With Rosa, oh she is, that would not surprise me. Happy birthday, Maria! Sorry I got back so late. Good job with your work, Mama. I know you're busy, so even though you were late, I waited without crying. I was good and waited, watching TV. Yes, you're such a good girl, Maria. As a present for waiting politely, you can order anything you want today. Of course, only eat as much as you can eat, okay? Hey, today, can I change my corn soup to onion gratin soup? Yes, that's fine. 200 yen more expensive, but can I change it to prosciutto pizza? Yes, that's fine. If you really can eat it. That's okay. It's your birthday after all. There must be a reward for the girl who waited so patiently. Then can I have enchilada cheesecake for dessert? And then, the chef choose fruit salads and kids french fries. I want to drink melon soda too. I'm a good girl, I'm a good girl. Mama praised me. You're getting a little too excited. If you don't quiet down a bit, you'll disturb the other customers. When Rosa gently admonished her, Maya stuck her tongue out and eased up a little. But it seemed that she was having a hard time repressing her excitement at being able to eat out with her mother after such a long time. Today was Maria's birthday. Rosa always tried to let Maria spend her birthdays at great restaurants. When Maria had been in kindergarten, we sometimes invited other kids from the neighborhood over and had a party at home. I'm gonna guess those went wrong really quick. Rosa would make a wonderful cake and snacks and decorate the house herself, making it a huge celebration. But when we moved, Maria no longer had friends in the neighborhood. Oh, never mind then. Okay. Rosa started splurging in expensive restaurants instead. However, today they were in a normal family restaurant. So a little late in the day for a kid like Maria to eat there, even with a parent. Actually, she had gotten reservations at a fantastic place that would surely have pleased Maria. Of course, she had also prepared a wonderful cake with Maria's name written on it. But Rosa just hadn't been able to finish up her business. I had been forced to cancel. I can't talk today. I'm very sorry, but I'm really struggling to talk today. It's crazy. Since that plan had been traded for a local family restaurant, Rosa felt a little indebted to Maria. So she was prepared to spoil Maria a bit and let her have whatever she wanted tonight. You never used to eat much, did you, Maria? Was it really alright to order that much? I can't eat very much, but I like to have a lot lined up. You know, like on a birthday table. If it's colored all over with red and blue and green and yellow, it makes you very happy. And you're right. Having your birthday table be colorful can make you feel happy. Birthdays at my place were no match for yours, Maria. But the cakes we bought at the Fumiya store in front of the station were always gorgeous. And she thought back to her own birthdays nostalgically. Even though Dad was busy, he sometimes came home just to show up at my birthday party, then went right back to his company. I'm back, how is it going? It's going alright. Pretty sad moments between like Ange and Maria. Poor Ange. At the time I was sad, but now I understand how important it was to Dad. Of course, Mom also took very good care of me. In particular, her birthday presents were always in excellent taste. Depressing school life, yeah. And she sometimes arranged for them several months in advance. Even though we always sent an invitation to Butler, he didn't get along with Dad or something, so he kept not coming. So when he did come, I was really happy. The birthday parties were when the birthday parties when the whole four-person family gathered made for fun memories that I'll never forget. Ange's birthday sounded like a lot of fun too. But her and Uncle Rudolph are really lively. Yeah, giggle. Butler got covered in cola. Maria picked into my happy memory. As I sat quietly, wearing the origami helmet that Dad had made for fun, I was a little embarrassed. In my hand was a paper gun that Butler had folded for me, and Mom was taking a commemorative photo. It was the happiest moment of my life. But your birthday's no worse, Maya. This is the day you get him, right? Sagutaro. Yeah, I was really looking forward to it. I got so excited, wondering when Mama would show me the present in the corner of her bag. Sagutaro is the name of a stuffed animal that Maria was to receive that day. For quite some time before then, Rosa had been making a stuffed animal to give Maria as a present today. Hearing that it was a cute lion stuffed animal, Maria had already given it the name Sagutaro, even though she hadn't received it yet. I don't want it to be the case, but I bet it's just going to be some cheap store-bought teddy bear. Today she was looking forward to meeting Sakutaro even more than her own birthday. Rosa ran a clothing design company. It's going to be some kind of brand name. Oh, so no, it's going to be some quality stuff, okay. What was it? Auntie Rosa? If their catchphrase was, I can't forgive the me of yesterday. Unfortunately, I've never met someone who knew of that brand name. Maybe it wasn't that famous. Her own Rosa was pretty skilled with her hands. I heard that she made some of the clothing she wore herself. Making a stuffed animal to be well within her capabilities. Your handmade stuffed animal. That's pretty amazing. By the way, why did you call it Sakutaro? Oh, I wanted to call it Sakura, but it's a male line, so she told me to give it a boy's name. So I did the boy like Taru and called him Sakutaru. Eventually, the last U disappeared. Why Sakura? The main character in Cal Master Sakura?
What? No. Okay, well that's a lie. Cat Captor Sakura is June 1996. I knew it wasn't in the 1970s. Or like early 1980s. Maya is a time traveler too. That's the only way to explain it, yeah. Holy shit. The fact that she'd simply borrow the name of a character she liked was, how should I say it, as innocent and cute as you'd expect from someone of that age. Petan. True! I forgot. Mochi Petan. Mama. Still no Sakutaro? I wanna let Sakutaro join in on my birthday too. Presents always come at the end, right? If you open it now, it will get dirty. Hold on until the meal is over. Then I'll finish eating quickly. As soon as she proclaimed that, she started tearing into her meal. Aunt Rosa got mad at her, saying that was rude. It seemed that she'd expected it this would happen right away. I also thought that, given how straightforward Maya was, that was probably what she'd do. It was kind of pleasant when my expectations weren't betrayed. In the end, Rosa lost to her daughter's eyes, which were sparkling with anticipation. Clean up the table and took out the long-awaited wrapped presents. Happy birthday, Maria! I wasn't able to spend much time on it, so I couldn't make it very well. Ah, if you made it, I'll be happy with anything! Aunt Rosa spoke a bit humbly. But Maria was happy even before opening the wrapping. I could really understand that feeling. Not a problem of quality. Just the fact that it was a handmade present was more pleasing than anything. Can I open it? Can I open it? I wanted to wait until we got back home before doing it, but just for a bit, okay? Just take a look and say hello, then put it back. You can give him a proper greeting once you get home. We're in public, so you can't fool around, okay? Can you promise? Promise. But can I open it? Can I open it? Mama! Yes, just for a bit, okay? And with the star sound effect appearing in the air, obviously. Before Rosa finished talking, Maria started unwrapping. As soon as she did, yellow and orange picked out. I've seen this before. What appeared was a slightly blank-looking lion stuffed animal. I've seen it before. Oh, small, easy. To have that little loop right there, that must be really fucking small. I'm keeping him on the side because I feel he's gonna be important. As soon as she did, yellow and orange picked out. Okay? With cute round eyes and a white chest. It was about the size of a small pillow. It looked... Oh. That's pretty big then, never mind. What is this then? The loop. It looked pretty big next to someone as short as Maria, but it probably wasn't that large. With the perspective of someone who didn't know better, it probably looked like something cheap bought from a department store or something. But to Maria, it was her mother's handmade stuffed animal. The only one of its kind in the world and irreplaceable. What is Maria what is Rosa looking at? Rosa, look at your child, Rosa. What are you looking at? Kawaii. Thank you, Mama. Thank you so much for making such a cute stuffed animal. Even though you're so busy with work. Rosa looking at her own child? I think not. If you praise me that much, it's actually embarrassing. I couldn't take much time, so I couldn't make anything that good. I actually wanted to make one so big that you couldn't wrap your arms around it. No, this is good. With this size, we can always be together. We can go out together. Sakutaro, I'm your only chan. Where were you?
Really is an adorable stuffed animal. But this kid is Sakutaro, your best friend. We can't go to school together, but me and my best friends are always together at home. You know, Sakutaro is really innocent and cute and always nice to me. He supports me when I'm feeling down and plays a lot with me when I'm feeling good. So I'm never lonely anymore. Not lonely when Mama's busy with work and I'm all alone. Not even when no one plays with me at school. Isn't that right, Sakutaro? Poor Maria. Poor kids. Like all of them, poor kids. Poor characters. All of them, poor characters. Except Kinzo. I would not say he's a poor character. Like, no Rudolph, no Cross. Rudolph, no, not really. But you know, poor, not Eva. Not Mario. Not Rosa. Poor Kiri, Natsui, Hideyoshi, and the others, I guess poor. I was about to say, oh no, all of those characters are tragic, but then I look at this guy, and I'm thinking, no, not really. I'm changing my mind. I fucking hate them. Only Maria and Ange are deserving of any compassion. And Natsui. And Jessica. That's cool. Maria had lived in the same kind of environment as I did. Compared to the other kids in our class, Maria's tempo was always a little slow. Her sensibilities of ways of viewing things were a little peculiar, and a little too idiosyncratic for her to blend in. Her grades were low as well, and since she was talkative about everything related to the occult, her specialty, she was treated like a weirdo by everyone else in class. If you were touched by Maria, you'd be cursed. Stuff like that. Apparently, everyone in our class acted like she was disgusting, made fun of her, and avoided her. A boy bumped into Maria. He started rubbing that pot against the other boys, as if he'd gotten some scum on him. He'd pick up her stuff like it was something filthy and chase the other boys around with it. Seems the girls even thought speaking to her was unpleasant. So they ignored her all the time. Only giggling and sneering at her whenever she made a mistake. It looks like bullying is the same in all eras. Humans really don't invent that all, do they? If only they just get wiped out. I'm sad when I'm bullied, but I think it can't be helped. It can't be helped? Why not? After all, there's a rule that says every class has to have a single bullied kid. It's a horrible rule. I'd like to find the person who made it and hit them over the head with a brick. Same! You know what? Same. I think literally everyone would agree. Or at least most people would. Using the corner, of course. I'm glad you clarified that one, yeah. If I wasn't there, then there would certainly be a new bullied kid chosen in my place. By staying strong, I can protect that kid. She said that. She smiled faintly. Maya's way of thinking really is unusual. According to her, from the beginning, a witch had resided in that place called a school. No. She says that any place where a lot of people gather will have a witch residing there. The witch tries to steal students' souls through death by diseases or accidents. Apparently, she sometimes also corrupts the souls, leading them down that path of evil. She says that an angel came, not content to let that continue. And the angel tried to finish off that witch. The witch was powerful, and the fight took 7 days and 7 nights. But even then, it still wasn't over. The tired out witch asked for a truce and proposed this. I heard about that one before. Until now, I've made half of the students in the class become sick or injured. But in exchange, I've protected the remaining half of the students from sickness and injury. Therefore, if one member of the class becomes a sacrifice to me and is made into the bullied kid, I shall protect all of the other students from sickness and injury. Right? The angel thought about it. Compared to have the class meeting misfortune, having only one person be fortunate would be much better. And the witch said that she'd protect the safety of all the other students, using her powerful magic. If there are 40 students in the class, and the 20 victims are reduced to 1, and 90 people are saved. It's actually a reasonable proposal. I wonder if there's some theme behind this fairy tale. If it's a creation by Maya, a 9-year-old, that would be pretty impressive. The angel decided to accept the proposal. That's a fucked up version of trolley problem. Yeah, and the actual answer is you accept neither deal, and you force none of them to be bullied. Through that single sacrifice, 90 people were saved. That's why my role is important. The witch is protecting 19 people. Because we become sacrifices? Well, I don't even remember ever being thanked by those 19 people. Maya's idea was too compassionate. Both of us are suffering from a very similar type of misfortune. And yet, maybe a small difference in our way of thinking changes how peaceful our hearts are. I mean, if she's happy doing so, I think that's the most important part during like this. So you aren't sad, Maya? Because like, I don't think she could change it. Not sad at all. After all, I'll be together with Sakutara from now on. Right, Sakutara? Who are you? If I can be with Maya, I'll be happy too. Yeah, it's classic coping with trauma. It is. But like, you know, it's better that than no coping, is what I'm saying. Maya hugs a Sakutaro's stuffed animal, playing both sides of a conversation herself. I don't understand it. That's exactly why I want to reach Maya's level. I was intentionally drawn to her tale and her words. Ange, is it tough because you're all alone? It is tough, but just the time I can be like this with you is different, because I'm not all alone. Then if Sakutaro also becomes your friend, it will be even more fun. And starting today, Sakutaro is Ange's new friend. Right, Sakutaro? Who are you? I am Ange's friend? Skillfully moving the stuffed animal like it was a puppet, Maya expressed Sakutaro's emotions. She was controlling him, but the charming way he waved his short hand and cocked his head to the side made it feel like he really was a new friend called Sakutaro. Who are you? True. Of course, looking at it with cold eyes, it would only appear that Maya was comforting me when I was grumpy. But a soul had definitely been sent into that stuffed animal. The soul of Maya's love. So I acknowledged the existence of a being called Sakutaro inside that stuffed animal. Come on, say hi to Sakutaro too, Ange! Come on, you say hi too, Sakutaro! Is Ange a scary person? Sakutaro timidly looked at me. He unexpectedly met my gaze, and hid behind Maya's back in surprise. Maya is really good at playing with stuffed animals. It's okay, Sakutaro. Ange isn't scary. She's a really nice girl. Ooh. Hello. I'm Sakutaro. Who are you? Pleased to meet you, Sakutaro. I'm Ange. I'm glad to have a new friend. I held out my hand as though asking for a handshake, and Sakutaro's short hand was stuck towards me, lightly touching my index finger. After all, when a human and a stuffed animal shake hands, their sizes are too different. The greeting by touching each other's fingers was our handshake. Oh, now Ange and Sakutaro are already friends! This is cute. 2 people are more fun than 1, and 3 people are more fun than 2. Ooh. Maya had given the name Sakutaro to the stuffed animal she was to receive on her birthday. It had warmed and expanded its existence in her heart for a long, long time. Therefore, even before she met him, his existence was sublimated into her personality. Even at the first moment they met, they were already friends. Of course, that wasn't anything extraordinary in Maya's eyes. Although I don't think she'd personified and loved anything quite as much as Sakutaro. She loved the things she owned very much, treating them just like friends or beloved pets. Maybe Rosa had then let her keep a pet at some point in time, so she felt like treasuring objects instead. And maybe she was so isolated that she'd been forced to find a friend nearby. Because of all that, what happened that day wasn't anything extraordinary from her perspective. Even so, Sakutaro, no. Maybe you should call it Sakutaro, like Maria. There's no doubt that Sakutaro was a stuffed animal. No, a friend, whom she loved more than anything. Or anyone. And the lunch... Oh, I thought it was like the lunch bell. Hello, it's Mama. You're in a good mood. You have a friend over? Playing with Sakutaro. Sakutaro, knock it off. It was already about 9 at night. Rosa asked because this wasn't a good time to have a friend over. But she'd been just a little surprised. And when she thought about it, Maya didn't have any friends who would come over to play, did she? Even so, you think that she would have so much fun playing with that stuffed animal? Well, Rosa was very pleased that Maya had liked her birthday present so much. I really thought something else was going to follow that sentence. I really thought that like Rosa would have been like, oh, it's so over. Oh, I gotta take that toy away. Mama just can't get her work finished tonight. The next season's lineup is having a tough time. Looks like we're finally starting to get orders bit by bit. I want to somehow give it a bit more impact so we can answer to their expectations. So you're spending the night? Sure, okay. Do your best, Mama. Really? Thank you, Maria. Thanks for being understanding about Mama's work. I was surprised that Maya had accepted so easily that she wouldn't be able to come home. Rosa, having to tell Maya that she'd be coming home late or staying overnight was a huge burden. I would start crying about how lonely she was on the other end of the phone, and it took a lot of time and effort to calm her down. To think that Maria would accept it in such high spirits. This also thanks to Sakutaro? Rosa was once again pleased that she'd given her daughter such a good present. I'll make sure I come back this time tomorrow. Let's eat dinner together then. You haven't eaten dinner yet, have you, Maria? Buy a bento at the convenience store and eat it. No sweets and no soda. I'll check the receipt and the change, understand? Ooh! Shopping with Sakutaro! Hey! Not Sakutaro! I've been watching over the house! But Maya's manner of speech, Rosa got the feeling that Maya might have gone shopping with that stuffed animal without her knowing about it. Rosa's throat creased, and after sourly saying that Maya definitely mustn't do that, she hung up. Oh! Mama said I mustn't go shopping with Sakutaro. I'll go shopping with Maria. What's her room look like? Well, that's a kid's room if I've ever seen one. Being all alone will be lonely. Why did Mama say not to go shopping with Sakutaro? I'm sure that if Maya was seen with me, it'd be embarrassing. Embarrassing? Why? Mama says not to take me outside a lot. And she usually says Maya can't do it because she's too old. Huh? But I'm not embarrassed at all to be with Sakutaro, right? I'm a lion, but I'm a stuffed animal. You're a lion and a stuffed animal, but you're my friend. So let's go out together, just when Mama isn't around, as a secret. You aren't saying that you're embarrassed, are you? I'm not embarrassed, but, the people outside are a little scary. Is that it? Then I'll make it so you can go outside without being scared. Maybe to me, I've got something that's really useful. Maya started fishing around a messy room. What? Rosa often told her to clean it up, but Maya apparently didn't like doing it. Maya herself knew more or less where everything was. So much so that if it were to be cleaned up, she would have trouble finding where anything was. Here it is! Hey look, Sakutaro! A knapsack! I probably held it up high. Sakutaro looked at the knapsack, which was gaping open, squirming as though saying, Are you serious? Maria, you aren't saying? Ooh, this way we can go shopping together, and Sakutaro won't be scared. Let's rather not do that. Yeah. Yeah. Sakutaro just isn't... He's not sold on the idea. He really isn't sold. Maya held Sakutaro up, started stuffing him in the knapsack. So she tried to stick him in head first, but then he'd be upside down and suffocate. So she pulled him out and tried pushing him in again. Feet first. Cramped dark. Look, it's alright. If you stick your head out, it isn't cramped, it isn't dark, and it isn't scary. It's a good view. Oh, you're right. Is it okay for me to go shopping with Maya like this? Yeah, it'd be fine. What should we get for dinner tonight? Come on, let's go out. I'm calling it out already. She's either going to get Sakutaro stolen or lost. And then Rosa is gonna refuse to make her a new one. Or Rosa is going to find out that she's doing this with Sakutaro. And is going to be like, this is not okay, you're 9 years old, you're too old to do something like this. No more Sakutaro, and she takes him away. One of the two. This can't end good. Sakutaro is not being introduced for things to, like, end well. Looks like you're having fun, Maria. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Doing things that would be lonely and boring alone all become fun with Sakutaro. Any human friend would have to go home when it gets late. But Sakutaro doesn't go home, so we can be together all the time. You watch TV with me, be together even in the future. And even hold my hand on scary nights when there's thunder. He shays away the monsters in the closet under the bed. Sakutaro is reliable. Since I'm a lie, I'll show my courage and chase away any monsters that scare Maria. Go! We were so close that it made me a little envious. I'm supposedly older now than Maria was then. But Maria really is my, I guess, big sister. And I still haven't reached her level. If only I had a friend close by like Sakutaro. Sakutaro and I are your close friends, right? We're always by your side. It's just that your magic is weak, so you can't perceive us unless you open my diary like this. Perceive? You know some pretty difficult words, Maria. According to her, this world is full of magic and spirits. And they're as natural and nearby as a light breeze. You don't normally notice or see the wind. The winds and smokes or something draws trails, you can see it, right? Right. And even if you can't see it, it's always nearby. That's it. We're always really close by to you, Ange. Gods and spirits and gods and spirits. Always right next to us. But if you aren't conscious of them, you can't feel their existence. Like wind that can't be seen with the eyes. They certainly are near us. If they draw trails in the smoke called magic, anyone can see them. I thought I'd only be able to meet Maria while this diary was open. From what she says, she's always with me. And I can meet her at any time if I truly desire to. Along with a record of my life, I left a fragment of my own soul in my diary. So the power of my magic resides in this diary. But it's very faint, so only you can feel it. Only I can tell it's there? Yes! After all, the power of a witch resides in you, just like me. If you study art, you too will definitely become a great witch in the future. Witch? I wonder if that would be fun. It is fun. If you do that, you'll be able to notice that Sakutaro and I are always by your side, even without opening your diary. That's true. Maya would probably die sadly if she went into Gensokyo. I'm pretty sure she can't shoot bullets. Sadly. Do that every day will become fun. If you do that, I'll introduce you to many other friends. Like Marisa Kirisame. Every day will get busy and very lively. That might be fun. I do have the grimoire you left behind, Maria. I'll try reading it seriously sometime soon. After that, I won't be all alone anymore, right? But so many UITs could end badly. Like either the two I described before, or Ange classmates arrive and steal a diary away and destroy it. There's so many ways. With her knapsack on her back, and half of Sakutaro's face peeking out of it, triumphantly walked through the shopping district late at night. Well, it was that time of day after all. Everyone in the shopping district was either a shop owner lowering the shutters of their shops, or an employee running, or staggering on their way home. I'm curious on all the layers. I don't know. I generally do. I can't tell you. Like, to me, it just seems like what's the word? Like Ange basically made an imaginary friend while, you know, reading Maria's book. And is a bit extrapolating what's going on. I don't know exactly. Like, I can't tell you. I feel like it's mostly just Ange making an imaginary friend and then reading the diary at the same time while talking with said imaginary friend. I think that's what it is. And then making a new imaginary friend by the way of like the Sekitaro, right? I don't think there's that many layers. There's only really one layer to me, and it's the layer of Ange reading the diary. Amidst all of that, Maya was in a good mood like someone on a hike. Probably looked quite merry. Every once in a while, passing employees would glance at her back with the eyes of someone seeing something out of place. Office ladies giggled at a cute stuffed animal poking its head out of the knapsack. The supermarket had closed for a while by this time. However, convenience stores, which had been growing in popularity lately, stayed open until midnight. It was very convenient for Maya, whose mother's return was often late. Maya lowered the knapsack from her back, and carrying it like a child in her arms, she headed over to the sweet buns counter. She pointed to a sweet bun she had eaten before, explaining to Secretary that this one was delicious and that one was pretty good too. Secretary seemed to be enjoying it a lot. I'm gonna have the free-colored one! With just this one, you can eat bean jam and cream and strawberry jam. There's sometimes greenish brown bean jam, or white bean jam. There should be one kind of bean jam. Looks like having different things inside them makes them interesting. Next, I'll have a fruit yogurt. There's fruit in it, but it isn't sweet, right? Yeah, I'm sure Mama will be fine with it. Do you want one too, Sekitaro? Is that really okay? What about the money? No problem. Look, it's Shotoku Taishi. That is Shotoku Taishi. As long as it doesn't kneecap normal supermarkets like in Japan. I have no idea of like the economics behind that in Japan. At all. I know there's convenience stores that are open until midnight, even around here. Right? I have one that's like a few steps away. But if I go to shop there for anything, I can expect the price to be like twice of the normal retail price. Right? Try to buy some ham. €2 in the store, €4 there. Bit expensive. Sucks if you want something specific. I see. That sucks. I wish 7-Elevens here were like Japanese ones. I know nothing about Japanese convenience stores. Would you like some yogurt too, Sekitaro? When Amaria made to grab another one of the same fruit yogurt, Sekitaro bent his head slightly, worried. But I can't eat a big one, so a small one will be fine. I don't know about a small yogurt. It's 40 yen. That's cheap. That's good enough for me. Yogurt for Maria. Supermarkets being as common as only half 4 and that's it. Yeah, that would suck. That really would suck. Maya put the 3 colored bread and 2 yogurts into a shopping bag and brought them to the register. The man running the register had been in charge of the tobacco shop that had been there until last year. I seem to be seeing you a lot at this time of day, little lady. You're a good girl. Maybe you'd better come with your mother if you're going to go shopping at this time in the future, okay? Mama said it's okay, so it's fine. Mama always comes home late because of her work, but we aren't lonely. Right, Sekitaro? Really? That's all stuff. Here, I'll give you some free soda. The man working in the store took a can of leftover soda or something from behind the register and packed it into the bag with everything else. And because it was leftover soda, it was like opened and half empty, and everything spilled all over the stuff she bought. Little practical joke he pulled there. What a silly man. Thank you, mister. Isn't that great, Sekitaro? Then she had been told not to buy soda. She couldn't take it back home. So she decided to drink it on her way back and not bring the empty can back home. with a vinyl bag with the sweet bun in it around their elbow, holding the knapsack with Sakutaro in it with that same arm and drinking a soda. The two of them walked home. Yuzukusho soda isn't really good. You wanna try too, Sakutaro? Nasty. Yeah, I was wondering, did she spill soda over her stuffed animal? Of course, it's not like she could actually make a stuffed animal drink soda. She just put the can into Sakutaro's mouth and pretended to tilt it. It was fun for Maya to share the taste of this weird drink that she had gotten for free with Sakutaro. There was a huge moon in the sky. At times, that moon had been clouded by tears when she'd been unmanageable during Rosa's overnight stays. And when she'd been scolded by her mother. That is a big moon, I will say. That is a really big moon. And a lot of stars. For the city. But this moon was very warm, and it seemed to wash over the two of them as they enjoyed their trip home by themselves. Maya and Sakutaro, Ange watched the two of them go from behind. She looked so warm from behind. After looking at the backs of Maya and Sakutaro to get over, it became very hard to remember all of those long nights when she cried because her mother hadn't come home. I couldn't say it to Maya, but if I had been in the same position, I may have given a stuffed animal the same Sakutaro, but it wouldn't have been anything more or less than a stuffed animal. Anyone can make a relationship that only distracts you from your loneliness. But Maya was different. Sakutaro isn't a stuffed animal or a toy. It was a real friend. And apart from just distracting Maya from her loneliness, it changed the nights without her mother into a fun time where they could all play by themselves. Was it because Sakutaro was a special stuffed animal? Because the mother had made it herself? Because it was very, very cute? Probably not. It was a secret here. If there is a secret here, it doesn't lie within Sakutaro. I'm talking too fast and I'm stumbling over my words. I'm very sorry. God, I suck at speaking today, really. Okay. Probably lies with Maria. This is the power of magic you were talking about, Maria. Knowing magic means that you notice a lot of friends right beside you that you didn't notice before. It's as fun as having a bunch of new toy shops pop up all over the neighborhood. If even I locked up in an academy without a single friend, a power like Maya, I wonder if I could make my days just a bit richer. I wonder if I'll be able to honestly shed tears on nights I feel like crying, to smile on grey nights. Yes, you can! You can do it! After all, you also have what it takes to become a witch. What it takes? Become a witch? I have what it takes to become a witch too, but I've still got a lot more studying and training to do. I'll definitely become a wonderful witch, flying in the sky on a broom, drawing rainbows with my cane, making candy from the sky. Can definitely do it. And I'll show you too. I'll definitely be like a scene from a wonderful dream. Maya said that, making an absolute promise with her smile. There's no way I can become a witch. But if Maya says that, it makes me feel that maybe I really can become a witch. Because in reality, on that desolate night, when no flower of a smile could possibly have bloomed, a magic surely gave birth to a smile. I wonder if you can become a witch. You can! You're a bit older, so your soul is bound a bit more by gravity. That might make training tougher than it is for me. But you definitely can. After all, you're already touching a small piece of magic. I am? Magic? Yeah! Come on, look! In a world where I don't exist, you summon me, and you're talking with me! This is magic? Yeah! You expanded the fragment of my soul that I left in my diary, and you're reviving me right now! I also said it in a short while ago, right? Since you managed to reunite with me and have a conversation, since you're able to smile every once in a while, you must have some magical talent, Ange. Maria Oni-chan guarantees it. You said it a second ago. Oni-chan, I thought I could only meet you while the diary was open. But you're really nearby all the time, right? If you had more of the power of magic, would I be able to see you? Just like now. Would I be able to talk with you, Oni? Anytime? Yeah, we can get talk at any time. I'm there by your side to say good morning, and even during class. Let's talk together during dull classes to distract you from your boredom. Also be there to talk to you during meals. So let's always be together like this during lunch break. We're with you after school too, and of course, I'm always by your side even after you return to the dormitory. It's just that you don't see me, except when the diary is opened. Even when I close the diary. Maria, you'll be by my side, right? Yes, I'll be there. So if you try to see me and try to talk to me, I'll definitely be able to answer. If you look strongly and try to talk, that is. I'll give it a try. It isn't easy, okay? It isn't going to go well all of a sudden, got it? I understand. I'm sure it won't be easy. But I want to be like you, Maria. Ooh, I understand. Then look at me well. Look closely. Okay. Slowly and open and close your eyes. You can't shut them for a long time all of a sudden. After burning my form into your eyes, try to make it blend into the inside of your eyelids. Yeah, I'm doing it. Once you can visualize me even when your eyes are closed, without changing anything, slowly and softly close your eyes again. How is it? Can you still see me? Yes. I think I can probably see you. And try opening your eyes for a second. Now pause the real thing. Come your out and close the diary. At that time, my form may disappear for a second. But come your out and don't get anxious. And then try to make the me that's blending into the inside of your eyelids blend back into your eyes. Slowly visualize me in the empty air. In the empty air. See me. Yeah, I'm okay. 10? I won't see these floating things in my retina. Oh no! Illusion tutorial. I mean, no. Wouldn't say it's delusion. Delusion is like very, very negative. You can't just say coping mechanism, I would say. It's an imaginary friend. And I'm happy for her. Listen. As long as it doesn't hurt her, right? Who cares? Yeah, I'm okay. Then I'll close the diary. Slowly, I closed it. When I did so, the grey reality filled with dull air unfolded. Of course, Maya's form disappeared. Give it all you've got, have courage. Take the first step to the world of witches. Felt like Maya was cheering on me inside my heart. She's cheering me on? Really? Or do I just think that she is? No, that's wrong. It's because I think that I cannot see her. Maya is always by my side. Even now, she's definitely there, cheering me on to do my best. That reached my ears. So I mustn't ignore it like it's my imagination, or the voice of my own heart. I believe that Maya is there. I mustn't doubt. I believe. Maya said she'd always be by my side. I must not doubt that. But looking at that empty space, by the empty back wall of the school building, amidst those almost artlessly boring rays of sunlight, calling out a name was unexpectedly difficult. The chains of common sense that had clung to me until today sneered at me, telling me that calling out to the empty air was ridiculous. It was almost like being told to take a step forward of the roof of a skyscraper overlooking a sea of lights. It's Maya saying it. It's alright. She's saying that I'm someone who can do it. I'm thinking that you might fall, or that it would be foolish to take a step off a roof and free yourself from those chains of common sense. Ooh. Okay. I steadied my breathing. I concentrated my mind. Make the vivid form of Maya in the empty space before you rise to the surface. Understand magic and see Maya Oni-chan.
マリア、お姉ちゃん。
Maria. Sister. Huh?
誰かいるの？
Someone there? At that time, I was answered by a rustle in the bushes and a wild cry, and I came to my senses. It looked like I wasn't the only one behind this cold building. No. Since I'd been so immersed in the world of the diary, I hadn't noticed someone coming. I recognized the group of three beyond the bushes. They were kids from my class! From their appearance, it felt as though they'd come behind this cold building to gossip about someone and talk in secret. I hurried out of that place. Because if I became known that I'd be alone in a place like this, mumbling to myself, it would become a pain again.
言ったよね。言ったよね。
She said it, right? She said it, right? She said Maria or something, right?
やばく
Isn't
ない？
that creepy?
心霊とか
She isn't
出ちゃってんじゃないの？
she isn't seeing spirits or something, is she? Giggle, giggle, giggle. You hear me, sounds so funny. Keckle, keckle, keckle. With yells of shrill, loud laughter from behind. Irritated and feeling that Maria had been made fun of, I left that place at a quick pace, and the jog once I turned into the corner. And I might have made it to Onishan's world, just a little more time. It was frustrating, aggravating. Does everyone get in my way? I haven't gotten in anyone else's way, not even once! And ran, but it still felt as though I could hear their shrill laughter. Chapter end. Okay. "12 years later." Okay. So it's 12 years later after 2 years later. Or was it 6? I don't remember how many years later it was. I think it was a bit after Eva died, right?
噂じゃ、エンジちゃん。
You look awful. This is awful, Sprite. And that's it, Ange.
あんた、
You jumped off the top of the
ビルのてっ
skyscraper.
ぺんから飛び降りたん。
追っかけがう
The
ざかった
groupies were
んで
getting annoying,
ち
so
ょ
I
っと
thought I'd give them
待
the
とうと思
slip.
って。
Ange and an old gentleman wearing an expensive suit were alone in a massive, modern conference room. All of the newest machines for presentations were installed there. But they didn't upset its refined and composed atmosphere. And that alone was enough to make the business-like theme of the room abundantly clear. I will not tolerate Okonogi slander. I mean, I'm sorry. But like, this isn't even the good kind of green. This is vomit green. It's not the good kind of light green that I like. It's vomit. You picked vomit green, dude. On red, of all colors. Maybe also in my side then. Maybe I'm blind. But it does not look good with the red. And that haircut, dude. You gotta do something about that haircut. She carelessly sat on a high-class chair that executives making a salary of several 10 million yen probably sat in, looking aloof from the world.
下の方の
It's because I knew they were remodeling on the lower floor and had the safety net out.
連絡防止ネットがあるの知ってましたし。
Ange talked about it like it was no big deal, but in reality, it had been a miracle among miracles. To think that she had shot through several layers of safety netting for the remodeling project, being caught in a multicolored banner adorning the atrium and slipped off, only to be softly caught by a final banner, land on the ground without a scratch, and briskly leave that place. It put Hong Kong movies to shame.
いくらネットが
Whether you knew that was a net or not. This is a 200-meter tall super skyscraper we're talking about, right?
もしも思い通
If
り
things hadn't gone as you planned, there'd be a mess to deal with
大
now.
変なことになってた。
死んだら
I
死ん
figured
だ
that if I died,
それ
then I'd be dead, and that would be that. More or less.
まあその
Well, I still was testing my luck a bit.
若気の至り
Call it youthful zeal. I was still saying that she'd had enough of that topic, and shrugged coldly. Seeing that, the old gentleman who was looking at the world below, through a crack in the blinds, cackled.
運試し
So you're testing our luck, is that it?
いやはや
My, you truly are Kinzo grandchild.
うんぷて
Don't have to trust your life to chance.
会長も爆
The
死に
chairman was also a
平気で
woman who
命を
could take her
かけられ
life in a
る
bed like it was
人だが
nothing. But maybe this really is the Ushirmiya blood at work.
やっぱりあんた
You really will make it big in the future.
将来を悪いことは言わない
Please, let me be blunt.
僕はこの辺で切り上げて
Why not give up this running away from Omak and return to the Sumadera family?
お母さん
Heard that mom had a bad relationship with her family. I don't want to go to the house of people I first met at the funeral. The Sumaderas are mom's family. They're an old family from Kyoto, and compared to mom's frank attitude, unbelievably strict. They're talking about Kiwi, right? I'm assuming. Oh yeah, here we go. We finally get to read her death. After being repeatedly hospitalized because of psychogenic stress, she has already died in the world of 1998 due to acute heart failure. She lived the later years in isolation, with no one to understand her, and is the only survivor for Rokenjima. The media gave her the name Queen of Suspicion. She continued to make reckless expansions of her business, just like Kinzo had done in the past, which earned her many enemies. By her later years, she was doing it merely to harass people, as if she enjoyed it, rather than for financial gain. And it was all done for the sake of Ange, who would eventually succeed her. Even after throwing herself off the top of a skyscraper, she miraculously survived unharmed. After that mystical experience, she threw away everything and went on a journey by herself to learn her past. And she broke through Beatrice's magic from a position 12 years in the future. See. The only Sumidera I had been on good terms with was Grandpa, who was living apart from his family under the guise of retirement. Mom kept in touch with him too, but she avoided the rest of the family completely, almost hostilely so. So when I went out to play with the Sumadera family, it was always Grandpa's house I visited. When I was young, I didn't really understand it, but I hear that Grandpa was in an extremely weak position as a man who'd moved into his wife's family register, and his relationship with Grandma was also bad. You might even say that Grandma hated him and confined him to the house. Damn. It isn't hard to imagine that, because she had a soft spot for Grandpa alone, Mom was also hated by the Sumaderas. Since I was her daughter, they probably hated me quite a bit too. And yet, they appeared for the first time at Mom's funeral, shamelessly going on about how big I'd gotten, if they could actually act like family after all this time. What are you talking Mom's family or funeral? Shamelessly going on about how big I'd gotten. Did you throw a funeral for your mom only recently? When Aunt Eva died, I would inherit all of the wealth of the Ushiramiya family. If that wasn't what they were after, there's no way they would have been able to say such disgusting words. Well, it's not as though I can't understand your desire for self-abandonment, not that you're all alone. This isn't self-abandonment. I'm just taking a carefully stroll now that that annoying Aunt Eva has finally kicked the bucket. Everyone else is just making too big a deal out of it. Of course, everyone's after the vast Ushiramiya wealth I bear. They must think that becoming my guardian means they'll be able to do as they please with that wealth. Just how many people have tried to get close to me, acting like they want to be a substitute parent. If you ever find that you're hurting, please talk with me if it will help, okay? After all, I think of you as my own grandchild, Ange. I'll say no thank you from now. More importantly, let's return to what we were talking about. Ange, no matter how many times you ask, I am hiding nothing. The chairman was the only survivor in Rokenjima that day, and she passed away without saying anything. I myself know nothing. Everything is wrapped in darkness, you see. This old gentleman was one of those leaders who had been entrusted with the business group Eva had built up after she passed away. The one he called chairman was a former chairman, Ushiramiya Eva. The company once had friendly ties with Hideyoshi's business, and it had a close relationship with both Hideyoshi and Eva. For that reason, when Eva lost Hideyoshi, he became the only person to whom Eva might have let her true intention slip. However, whenever Eva's heart was torn by the loss of her family, whenever she took it down on Ange, he had acted as a buffer between the two. So although Ange didn't trust him, she found him a very easy person to question. Crime was... no, an accident. If I call it a crime, I'll get in trouble. I had the same questions about it as the public and the talk shows. At the time of the accident, why was Aunt Eva in a place 2 kilometers away from the mansion, all alone? And on the night of a storm? Back then, Kinzo was unsure as to whom he should select to be his successor. Officially, he decided on his son, Cross, but he didn't have that much trust in that man. Barely determine a successor from among the 4 siblings. Made this game-like test called the Riddle of the Epitaph. Ostensibly, yes. Kinzo probably planned to make Eva as a successor from the beginning. He wanted to withdraw his own rule that the eldest son be the successor, and instead of Cross, leave the family to the extremely diligent and brilliant Eva-san. The newer rule about giving his inheritance is the one that solved the epitaph. Was probably nothing more than a farce to snatch the position of successor away from Cross. What do you mean by farce? There was no need for anyone to solve that epitaph. Once it had been displayed for an appropriate amount of time, Kinzo could just call Eva, whom he truly wanted to succeed, and give her the answer. No. In other words, that itself would provide proof of a succession to the headship. Isn't something they've brought up on the talk shows, is it? Well, once you bring up the succession of the headship, conspiracy theories tend to rise to the surface. I'm no fool myself. I won't go out of my way to say things that could invite misunderstandings, you see. This was his theory. At that time, the family head, Kinzo, whose remaining life was announced to be short, was troubled by the problem of who was to succeed him. Normally, the successor would be fixed up by the oldest son, Cross, whom Kinzo had chosen himself. But in his later years, Kinzo began to think that Eva would make a more fitting family head. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think you're reading too much conspiracy theories, dude. Instead, you should think about it more like it's actually 50 feral dogs who killed everyone on the island, and Eva just happened to miraculously survive it. Like you should get yourself down to earth, dude. And search for an official stance by which you could skip over Cross and select Eva as the successor. She doesn't even have a conspiracy board and thinks she can figure anything out. Yeah, exactly. How can you figure out anything if you don't have a amazing board onto which you can write like every single important info? Right now there's not much, but it's gonna fill up. It's gonna fill up, slowly. The primary successor was still Cross, but there was a new rule saying that if someone appeared who could solve the riddle, but we'd chosen as a successor to the headship. Then, on what would probably be his final family conference, Kinzo told Eva the answer to that riddle himself. In short, it was the same as proclaiming that Eva herself was the successor. On that day, Eva was summoned by Kinzo, who revealed the answer to her, so that she could succeed. He called Eva to the hidden mansion Kuadoria, which only the head knew about. Because Aunt Eva arrived at the hidden mansion one step ahead, she escaped armed that accident, you say? Maybe Eva just killed everyone and made it look like an accident, so she could steal all the wealth for herself. Maybe that's why only she escaped unarmed. Oh, can you make it look like an accident? There was fucking stakes embedded into everyone. That's what the papers are shouting about. However, I believe Eva. I'd say there are several points that justify trusting her. For example, that ring of the Ishimiya family head, which is now on your finger now, Ange. That ring is the only one of its kind in the world, which Kinzo had made specially. The artisan who made it acknowledges that the object on your finger is, without a doubt, that ring. The Ishimiya family's head ring. That ring was the heft of gold and the one-winged seal on it. Had a diamond arranged on a pedestal, and felt both sturdy and reminiscent of the dark hobbies of the rich. Kinzo had worn that on his finger without removing it even for a moment. This man was saying that the fact Eva had it proved that Kinzo had acknowledged her as a successor. After all, Eva certainly did have that ring. And if you take into consideration that Eva actually was talented, and that Cross had made a fool of himself several times on the business scene, I cannot imagine that Eva's story is completely made up. Although there's a possibility that she murdered grandfather in order to steal the ring. Then Eva, using some kind of trick, massacred everyone, made it look like an accident. Ah, yes. It seems the papers were saying something about her massacring everyone, with keeping all the wealth to herself as a goal. True, Eva was a person capable of holding back nothing when she was determined to accomplish something.
Or he may have committed murder just once in a life. If a chance for keeping all the Ishomiya family welfare self-presented itself. However, I don't think that happened. What's the second point that justifies your trust in her? Eva-san's family. Hideyoshi and George. Might be difficult for you to believe all of a sudden, Ange. Eva was a person who treasured family greatly. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying moments ago. And by moments ago, I mean like an hour ago. I was saying, like, they're doing all this... I was doing all this thing in episode 2 about who could it be? Like, oh, could Eva has done this and done that and whatnot. But, like, the fact that she killed Hideyoshi and George makes me think there are 2 murderers. I genuinely think there are 2 murderers. And I don't see any other way. I want to see something. We're gonna stop here for today, but I want to do something. I want to go back to title screen. We're a mid-level guitar pianist. Probably by bare hands. Completely forgot that they died, by the way. That's why I'm... it's not that I forgot that they died, I forgot all they died. And I don't think we got read truths about them. That's the thing, that's the reason why I'm going back to them. Not you. You. Circumstantial evidence makes it reasonable to assume that she was killed after Rosa. Reasonable to assume. But... yeah, well, I assume with a wound that deep, right? With a wound that deep, I assume that you can't just, like, fake that. So, you know. So another person get... so, okay, but also, why strangling by bare hands and then strangling with a rope-like object? Then why did she not get strangled? There's so many weird elements. I think that's the thing. That's the thing that bothers me about, like, episode 3. Is the end thing where they pin everything on Eva. Sounds nice and tidy. But there's so many weird, inconsistent elements and inconsistent behaviors across every murder. There's so many things that don't fit. Like, why are a bunch of murders done with just stakes? Why are some done with strangling? Right? Why is this one looking accidental? Why is this one by a gun? Why is this one not with spear? No strangling. And this one, why is this one like this? Right? Like... why are all the deaths so bizarre? Okay, I assume it is because I assume that's how you can track which person murdered which person. I think that's why there's 2 murders. There's 2 murder methods. There's 2 murder methods. And therefore, there's 2 murderers. Right? Like you can see, there's 2 murders. There's this one, which seems a bit clumsy, right? Like, weird deaths. and actual, you know, gun. And then there's all those ones that are made with a stake or with a weapon. It's like at least a bit clearer. But I'm pretty sure if there's people that Eva killed, it's these two. She started with Rosa and Maria to get rid of the evidence that they found the gold. And then, when she noticed that, like, you know, things was going wrong and the ceremony was about to be completed, maybe she wanted to, like, you know, take them out first. But she's not the one on the list. Right? Maybe a witch did it now. If it's a 19th person, it's one of the 18. Which is silly to say like that, but there's multiple ways I've already pictured to have a 19th person. It pisses me off. It pisses me off because, although I think that's what it is. I think Kiri got it right, but Eva got it wrong, pinning everything on Eva. Eva told Hideyoshi, "Oh yeah, I found the gold, but I think Rosa and Maria know. Well, at least Rosa knows. I need to have a talk with Rosa. It might go bad. Please cover me." Right? She might have told that to Hideyoshi. And then, after meeting with the two outside, this happens. Eva comes back. Hideyoshi doesn't know what to do. Just hears about the fact that they both died and is like kind of shocked. Goes along with Rudolph Kiri, who are about to grill him. Right? They're about to grill him. They all die in a mention to a third person. To a second person. Eva, seeing that even her husband died, decides, oh, they're doing the epitaph. I need to take care and offer two people on the platter. So that way she spares my son, you know? Something similar to that, right? And she has very easy targets. Right here. Which she gets rid of. And then just like dumps them outside. And yells, oh yeah, come here or something. Or at least makes it clear. And then, I don't know why George did that. But George left. I have no idea what the numbers mean. I don't even want to bother. But this would explain, right? Like Battler finds out, oh yeah, wait, you killed the 4 of them, and Eva's like, you know too much. I can't have you actually be a witness, and shoots Battler, and then runs away. And meanwhile, the other murderer has killed every single person and has finished the job. And then, after killing them all, they work on making it look like an accident. And Eva's safe. Got out. Because maybe it's a way to survive the game. Maybe it's a way to survive the game. Like, we're talking about it right there. They were. There's a secret tunnel that leads out. Maybe towards the hidden mansion or something, but there's a place that leads out of the mansion and out of the guest house. A place that essentially acts as a sort of, you know, safe home for the incoming tragedy. And if you're in there,
then whoever is the murderer outside won't target you. And I'm guessing that Eva did murder a bunch of people, but she's not the main murderer. And that's why his web red of truth is so damning. Right? I don't see another way. Sounds like a theory. Yeah. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down. I'm second to save the episode 4 chart. Here we go. I gotta write that down, otherwise I'm gonna forget. And forgetting is bad. Where? Okay, let's write it down. If that didn't want to kill George / Hideyoshi, I'm gonna write it in blue because that's usually how I write my theories. There we go. He did not do it. Nah, that's a bit redundant. Someone else killed them. I think that there's two methods of murder. Accidental. Rosa and Maria. No, just Rosa. And strangling. Maria, Natsui, Rudolph. And the stake gun. Excluding Battler. Okay. It's a bit okay. There's two different murderers with two different methods. Our first murderer focused on making the ceremony happen. And Eva Eva tried to get rid of Rosa and Maria for knowing too much. Killed her, maybe accident, and finished Maria. No witness. Right, I mean that sounds fair. Hideyoshi didn't know, / didn't expect that. Goes with Rudolph Kiri, was panicked. Maybe. And upon seeing her husband die and the epitaph being followed, Eva kills Natsui Cross, right? That's the name. With Cross, Natsui, Maria, Rosa. A huge kill streak though. 5 people dead. That's quite a lot, right? And offers them on a platter for the actual murderer, who graciously uses them. Because maybe Eva thinks that if she kills others, to complete the ceremony, that means she and George will be killed. This doesn't work. George dies for some reason. Battler finds out too much, so Eva kills Battler and takes the safe house bunker route that leaves her safe from the rampage. I think that's it. I gotta say, George Nanjo's death are bizarre because it's the 9th Twilight. Not the Twilight where everyone should die. Maybe it wants to fill its quota because Eva killed 4 people? People for them? I don't fucking know. Here we go. I don't fucking know. I don't know further. I think that's my theory. I don't know if I could add more. Eva tried to get rid of Rosa for knowing too much. To finish Maria. This one is not really necessary, but it's might inform as to why Hideyoshi did it. Maybe Hideyoshi thought that, you know, she was just going to go have a talk with Rosa. Upon seeing her husband die, and the epitaph being followed, Eva kills Natsui Cross to offer them on a platter, which I think is accurate, right? Murder uses them, because, you know, why not? And Eva does that because that way, if she makes sure that the ceremony is followed with someone that isn't her or George, that she should be safe. And then she ends up wrong. And again, I don't understand why George or Denjo die. Especially why George dies in the middle of the mansion. And then, you know, once those two, George and Denjo, are dead, Eva just shoots Battler to remove witnesses? I don't exactly know. Maybe Battler found out that, like, you know, she killed the others. Maybe she found out that she has, like, you know, the rope that is used to be strangled. To strangle people or some shit, right? And then he gets shot as a result. Because now she has the gun. And once that's filled, once all those are good, right? It ends. And I think it's important to also add, if there's a 19th person, it's hidden amongst the 18 or some wordplay. Like a body double, someone dead who actually isn't. Many possibilities, I think. Here we go. Those are my theories so far, and I'll try and, like, refine them. I might come back to them. We'll see. But I did want to write that down at least. And I'm gonna save it down. Here we go. PNG. Here we go. Thank you everyone for coming. I hope you have a good night. Bye bye. Here we go.